call the meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. This is a meeting of the local budget committee. Tonight we're going to be discussing the water fund, the sewer fund, and public works department. If you join me in pledge of allegiance. Mr. O'Brien, would you please lead the pledge?
Thank you, my pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Before we start, is there any public comment? Seeing none, we'll start right in. Jim, do you have anything you want to talk to us about before? No, Jim. No, Jim.
No,
Okay.
Jim. Listen.
So I'm going to say no.
Okay, good. You want to jump right into the water fund?
Sure.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this fund so the folks that have a better understanding of it, the public?
Sure. Let me just flip to my... So basically the water fund, enterprise fund, that's what runs all of our water distribution and treatment at the plant up on Beach Pond, or the water that comes out of your faucet if you have town water. So we bill your water, the water rates and the water bills come in, and that's what pays for all of our labor throughout the year, our projects, so on and so forth.
So the rates should technically cover the budget itself.
Correct.
Do you have any extra money in the water fund?
So we have a fund balance, yes.
Okay.
So that two things. One, we need to keep roughly 4 to 6 months worth of operating costs in there at all times. Right now, we are running right around 900,000 in that fund, based off of, I believe it's 965,000. I can look that up. That's what, based off of the revenue that has come in this year and the expenses that we have put out in 2025.
And how many months is
12.
it? How many months coverage is that?
Oh, that gives us 4 to 6 months. So that'll be, they recommend that we keep that in case something catastrophic happens. Let's say something, a main blows apart somewhere, something happens at the water plant, something like that, we can still have operating funds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you give me 1 second, I can give you what that
Okay.
balance is.
Go ahead.
So as of,
Question to Steve, when you say they recommend, who are they?
so that is, so we are, Woodard and Kern is, Underwood is our consultants that we hire to do our rate studies and basically run the water sections of that for us. They're the ones that crunch all the numbers, they're doing the capacity studies for us, and they update that rate study each year. They take, what we do is we propose our operating budget to them, along with any capital projects we want to do. They calculate in what our usage is and what our revenue stream will be. That's how we set every year if we need to adjust that percentage that we have to charge the users to get that revenue back in to pay for this. Right now, we have it should be this one, actually. No, it should be that one.
That's the next, yes.
So the net position in the, from the 2024 audit, John, was 1.35 million in the water fund. Estimated revenues from 2025 is just over 1.9 million. And then you take out the 2025 operating expenses, come down out of that. And I do have this sheet. I only have one copy though, but we can have this sheet if you'd like.
Okay, so you've got 3 to 6 months tucked away in case of an emergency
Correct.
catastrophe.
Yep. And we're actually probably a little bit more than that right now. We're in pretty good shape. It's a pretty healthy fund right now.
Great, thank you. Okay, let's jump into the 100 and 200
Can I
series.
ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Is there a
Barbara.
way to get a copy of the paper to all of us?
Yes, so what we can do is, We can email this out probably
Great.
tomorrow.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Yeah, no, Tim, but yeah, his response late.
So
There's a couple of minor adjustments, but we'll make
Okay.
them and pass it out tomorrow.
we have just a couple transpose numbers and things to
Okay.
fix, but yes, we can do that.
Thanks.
Okay, let's look at the 100 and 200 series, which are the salaries and benefits for the employees, the town employees, excluding the insurance. You've gone up 25% on that. Did you have a new employee or switch around some
So-
personnel?
Yep, what happened is, so Josh Thomas, who is now our operations manager, his salary used to be in the treatment section, and now it is technically in the distribution section. So when we get, you'll see the equal amount percentage of decrease in the other budget.
So,
Yes, Bobby?
Just for the people here who don't watch the select board meetings, can you just quickly explain the restructuring, what happened
Yeah.
in your department? Because I think that affects the numbers.
So when I came on board, there was, or let me back that up. Before I got here, we had 4 management positions in Public Works. We had Dave Ford, Scott Pike, Adam Tasker, and Rod Dempsey. Right after, or shortly as I started, Dave and Scott left. That left, and Adam was gone right before me. So that left myself and Dempsey. Rod left probably 6 months after that. So for about a year, it was just me. And then we applied, or we advertised for an assistant public works director. Going through that process, we had 2 in-house candidates that applied for the job. Both of them had unique skill sets to what they brought to the table. Neither one of them had, like, both sides of the coin, let's say. So what we ended up doing was creating 2 operations manager positions, one for water, one for public works. Steve is the public works manager. We had another gentleman, Chris Maines, who had been a longtime employee. He was promoted up to that one. He has since moved on to a different place. And Josh Thomas, who was our primary operator, has now stepped up into that position. So what used to be 4 management level employees in Public Works is now 3.
And then one more question. In 2023, our last past budget, what were you sitting at with management versus what we're looking at now in salaries?
So we had 2023 would have been myself. I want to say we were still carrying 3.
3, okay.
Yeah, we haven't, all we have done is basically move it around.
Okay,
So when I was first hired, my salary, for example, was split across highway, solid waste, the garage, and buildings and grounds.
okay,
When I took on the water and sewer, now it is split. We do admin allocation from the water and sewer to compensate for my portions of my salary.
okay.
Steve is paid 100% from the general fund. Josh is paid 100% from the enterprise funds.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the 300 series. The 300 series include consultants, telephones, medical services, and outside services, and then there's administrative cost allocation.
Excuse me, John, are we on the water plant or water distribution?
Water distribution, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Make sure I'm looking at the right one.
Anybody have any questions on the 300?
Yes.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Can you kind of explain what's going on with line 311, Steve?
Consultant line? Yep, so the consultant line we use for, as I mentioned earlier, the rate study. So anything that we need to do for that. So the rate studies or the capacity studies or things of that nature is what we use for that consultant line.
Okay, because the backup doesn't say that. You mentioned it before. It says assistance with updating assets, management software, and emergency response planning and modeling.
Yep.
It doesn't say anything about rates.
Gotcha. We can make a note in that.
I think it would be wise to do that, because if that's the primary reason for that number, I believe it should be explained in detail.
Understood.
So the 300, let's go to 400.
Excuse me,
Yes,
John.
sir, I'm sorry.
Line 380, outside services.
Yep.
I'd like a little rundown of what that's about, because we've got a $6,000 increase there.
Sure. So, we have, obviously, we have the PRV, we have the ones listed in that. Most of that is the outside digs, for the emergency digs that we can't do ourselves, because there are some that we just can't do, we can't get to ourselves. So we do carry that in there in case we have to hire an outside contractor for that. That was probably the biggest jump up in that.
Okay, so that's basically a dartboard. You're hoping you don't have to use it. It's
Correct.
there.
Unfortunately, we use it quite often, which is why we ended up putting that in. And then the other part of that, electrical issues, we seem to be having more of those. So we need to make sure that we carry enough in there to cover the electricians.
Okay, thank you.
Cal?
Is that an equipment issue or manpower?
On what, why we don't do it?
Yeah.
There's some of it that is just specialized, more so than what we should do or could do. You know, say for instance, if it's something that's extremely deep, like we have some that are in town that are very deep that push 8-10 feet, you know, could we do it? Yes. Our machine's not quite big enough. Our cave-in boxes are not big enough. Our plates are not big enough. So by the time I outsource that stuff to bring that in to do it, it's easier to just hire somebody to come in and take care of it. You know,
So pardon my ignorance here, on just with the water distribution, with the big storms we had a couple years ago versus this year, with, does that affect water distribution at all with these digs you're talking about?
no.
Okay,
So when we have water leaks, so we had a leak, must be 3 weeks ago now, right by Mass Landing. I don't know if
Okay.
any of you folks went through it when we were out there at night. That is an old main.
okay,
And, you know, we have another one up the street from that. We have 3 active leaks right now that we're looking to schedule to fix. We did that one ourselves because we were, you know, it was 6 feet. We're good with that. Our infrastructure's old.
Okay, let's move on to the 400 series, which includes electricity, vehicle maintenance, communications maintenance, building maintenance, rentals and leases, and insurance. What do we have for questions for the 400 series?
that's fine.
Yeah, Bobby?
Just a quick one. With our vehicles, and again, I'm asking these questions like, because I don't know the answers.
No problem.
I know that we've been getting more and more vehicles and replacing our vehicles and stuff. And at the same time, the vehicle maintenance fees are going up. Could you help me understand
Sure.
that?
So, let's use the backhoe, for example. That is just normal wear and tear. So this stuff is all just pretty much cutting edges, chains for, you know, the spreaders, the plows, tires on the backhoe, routine oil maintenance, oil changes, things like that. All this is just, you know, we rust-proof everything every year. Everything gets undercoated. So all this is just normal, basically the same amount of maintenance you would put on your own personal car. That's all that this is.
Question on that same subject. You run the vehicle maintenance in the garage section of Public Works.
Yep.
We don't have a double up here, do we?
Nope. So the garage section of Public Works is its own entity. You'll see, when we get to it, it's usually a question every year, is the 332 line. You'll see that it gets overspent constantly. That's a revolving line. So what happens is Ben buys all of this stuff you would see right here, and then bills the water department for it. Then this does a line item transfer to pay for those bills. It's
Okay,
not
so
double.
This is the thing that's coming from the garage for the supplies that he's
Correct.
buying. That's what.
Basically, what is happening is the water department is buying this from the garage.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. That answers my question.
Okay, let's move on to 500, which is printing, dues and subscriptions, and advertising. Any questions on that one? Okay, let's move on to 600 series, which includes the office supplies, postage, maintenance supplies, gasoline, and diesel fuel, propane, custodial supplies, and safety equipment, and also uniforms.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
Stephen, that uniform line,
Yep.
it shows it's underexpended consistently, well, at least in my book. 2009.
It shouldn't be. Bob, so I can go back through and check that. So we buy, it would be, now I think about it, because we were short-staffed. That's why. We're now fully staffed, so going forward, it won't be under. So that uniform line is based off of what the union contract allows for clothing, for dollar amounts. So it's that amount times the individuals that we have.
How many short staff were we?
We, at one point, we were 3 down in the water department. So we are technically fully staffed there right now.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
question, John? Line 630,
Yep.
that's a pretty big jump, 21,000. Can you give me a,
Sure. Cost of goods from 2023 to 2026. It's cost of goods change.
so unit costs have
Yep,
gone
unit
up?
costs have gone up. Yep.
Quantity is the same?
Quantity is the same.
Okay.
We're actually reducing, actually, that's not true. We're reducing quantity to some extent because of a program we're working
But
on.
basically, there's no big deal with the quantities, it's just the price of the unit prices?
Yeah. The other one in there, Bob, is the hydrant risers. So
That's
that
the
is
one,
a-
that's the one I was gonna ask about.
Okay, that is a new one. We have, if you happen to notice, Center Street's a good one. All the hydrants are low. Over the years, the road has come up, but the hydrants have not. So we're just gonna start to raise some of these hydrants up. So between unit costs and that is where the change is.
Okay. Thank you.
We have a fire hydrant fee that we pay in the fire department.
Yep.
Are we paying twice? Shouldn't that fee that we pay towards the hydrant cover this $20,400 and the $2,000?
That, to my knowledge, John, is a allocation money only conversation. So
Okay.
doesn't pay, we don't have, that goes back into the fund balance to how I understand that. So we don't actually.
Your guys' fund balance? or-
Yes, goes into the water fund balance.
Okay.
So we don't actually have, we would, in order to have access for that, we would have to go before the board and ask them to do a transfer in for us to access that money.
Okay, thank you. Bobby, I'm sorry.
Just a quick question, is part of this the maintenance supplies? I know that you were talking about buying stuff ahead of time and just always having stuff there and being I'm sorry, can't find my word right now. It might have been one of your other departments that you were gonna.
So you're wondering if we're just stockpiling stuff? Is that your question?
Well,
So-
you had said it was cheaper if you, at one point during a meeting, if you did that. Is that
So
the same?
we are
here?
looking at a whole different program so that we do not have to quote stockpile. We
Okay.
do need to stock some things,
Okay.
which goes to what I had said to Bob earlier. We are reducing our stock levels. The unit prices are going up. We're stocking less units because we are working on having access in a program and working with another company. So will basically become our de facto stock room.
Okay, and is that for SOAR too, not just?
No, that's actually gonna be a public works across the board. That'll be
Across
highway
the
color.
board.
Yes,
Okay.
but it's a different program. per se.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Tom,
Isn't the difference between the fire department hydrant, quote-unquote, maintenance, and this, you're elevating hydrants,
Yes,
they're flushing, and
they don't flush, we flush them. So I believe that hydrant fee is put in there for, basically for access for them to get to it as a way of, that. Again, that's my understanding, that's been in there for many years. The water department flushes everything twice a year. Fire department doesn't do that unless they're doing exercises.
So I had a question along that. So the infrastructure of the hydrants, you still maintain?
Yes.
That's under your department?
Yes,
So that fee is for usage or
correct.
whatever it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Steve, what do we have, 265 hydrants somewhere in there, or do you know exactly?
That sounds about right,
About right?
give or take. We just put a few more in, but yes. close enough.
Okay, we all set on the 600, let's go to the 700, which is machinery and equipment, and some meter replacements. What's going on with the new meters, Steve? Are they gonna be better, or what is it?
Better?
Yes, so we have looked into, we're still working a little bit with our old company, but these new ones that we just purchased, purchased a batch of 50 month ago.
Okay.
They have leak detection built into them. So with the software package, I could sit here, if they're up and running, I could sit here on my laptop and they'll read a leak within a half a mile of them. So if we have them, so if Bobby has one in her house and you have one in your house and he's got one in his house, I can go on there and I can look and see anywhere within a half mile of your guys as if there's a leak within reason. So eventually, if we can get everything turned over, then our leak detection will become on a laptop, and I can pull up and say, "Well, John has a water leak, outside of his house and down 10 feet."
How many times will we have to buy these meters, and how many do you need to buy in addition to these,
So,
this group here?
so we bought 50 a month ago. We have in 200 to buy next year. So we have 2,400
Okay,
in town. So 10 years as we go, and
Yeah.
then we'll basically start again.
okay.
So this will be an ongoing
Yes.
item.
And I believe you guys voted to put this in here a couple years back,
Mhm.
when I was first around.
So for clarification, I mean, the savings by detecting a
Oh,
leak
it's huge.
early on
Yeah,
is
it's
huge.
And also, these new leak detection meters are actually cheaper than
Mm.
the old style that we have with the MIUs and stuff now. So
Probably more accurate.
that's the goal.
Bobby?
Just for clarification for the citizens out there, didn't we just have like a huge leak somewhere that was quite a bit of money from someone who went away for the winter last year, or they weren't there?
If it's inside the house, we don't really,
No, but didn't we lose a lot of water to a home just a little while ago?
well, I guess a lot of water for you and a lot of water for me is not the same. So we
Okay.
have a main break and I lose, a couple 100,000 gallons.
Yeah.
That's
That's a lot
water.
of water.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of water.
yeah.
So that's not uncommon what you're talking about. People
Okay.
go away, it'll freeze, the meter freezes, they pop a pipe, they come back
Yeah.
in, and there's 3 feet of water in the basement.
Yeah.
That's not unheard of.
And these meters are not going to detect that.
Well,
A home,
actually, they will.
oh, they will.
Because it's done off of vibration. It'll shoot a signal. So if it goes off of, it's ultrasonic. So if it goes off of, don't quote me on the number, X amount of whatever, it'll send a ping back to the home screen, and we can,
But is the homeowner then responsible for that?
absolutely. The homeowner's responsible for everything, their side of the curb stop. Period.
Mhm.
So this isn't meant to be a trick question for Steve, because he probably doesn't have it in his pocket, but a few years ago, calculation was done of how much water leaves the pond and doesn't get to a meter. There's your leaks, okay? Because once it goes to the meter on the other side, that's on them. But the amount of water that is leaving the pond and not getting through the meter is an impressive amount to the negative side. Anything we can do to put a crimp in that is more water we can sell, or less water we have to
Make.
worry about losing into the environment.
Right now, the number says we're right around 30% loss. I don't think it's quite that bad, because we have some bleeds and some other things that aren't metered that we internally are working to fix, changing basically the way, the phrase that I can't stand, which is the way things have always been done. We are working to change those so that at least we might not be able to bill it because there's a bleed that we control, the town controls, but it would be accounted for water, not unaccounted water. We're trying to get that unaccounted water number down to a reasonable, acceptable number.
You know,
What's the
even if
acceptable number?
30% is off by 25%, 1 gallon out of every 4
Right.
is unsold water,
Yes.
which is going into the ground, which could be sold or could be kept in the pond.
Right.
What's the goal?
Throwing in some meters is probably. a good
Under
thing.
20%, so we've got 12 to 15% to find or account for.
Improve.
You think under 20% is good?
That's industry standard.
Yeah, but what do you personally think? we should do?
I want under 10. I don't know if it's feasible, but,
Depends on how many
you
wooden
know,
pipes you have.
so the other part is,
That's part of the question, is the fact that we've got some aged mains kicking around,
And-
going up North Main Street.
it's not North Main, Center Street, we have a lot of aged infrastructure. So until that is all done, those numbers will only go down so far. Because those have leaks that are not just the leak that's on the service line to your neighbor's house, that's easy to find or easy to fix.
Yep.
That is weeping out of every orifice in those pipes.
Bobby?
Just one more quick question. The graph that is on the website right now with what our pond is, the fact that it's so low, is that ultimately, could that change the rates for the consumers this
No.
coming year? That won't change even though we're so
No,
low?
I can't see us being able to justify a supply and demand versus thing like, well, we don't have much water, so now you have to
Yeah.
pay more for that. I can't stand up there and say that.
Okay,
There's no way I would, no.
okay.
And we expect, I mean, we're already seeing snow already. So I think that's the winter we're gonna get,
Yeah.
so that should
So we
replenish.
have enough in the pond for the winter?
Yes, we're not gonna run out, no, yes.
Okay.
We also have a contingency plan, so the way that system is built is a siphon system that, so water comes down, goes into a small little area, then transfers down gravity feed into the plant. And that is gravity feed all the way up to Kingswood. That's gravity all the way through.
Okay.
So if for some reason we get too low and we can't feed that siphon, we can pump it. I don't want to do that, but we do have an alternative to make sure that we continue to have water.
Okay, thanks.
So, dumb question, so the entire distribution system is pumped from that point?
It's not pumped, it's gravity.
Gravity's
It's gravity all the way,
To the pump, though? Am I
no,
not understanding?
Gravity.
it's gravity all the way down through town, all the way up to there. The only place that we have a pump is out by MED.
So what's the lowest pressure in town?
That's a whole nother problem. Up by, probably Hemlock. Hemlock does, some parts of, Anagans and Canapache are low. Hemlock is the lowest, runs right around 30 to 35. It's bad enough that we can't provide water to people that want to put houses in there. Pressure's too low.
Just shed a little light. I think a few years back, quite a few years back now, David Ford had said we had a 38% loss.
Yeah.
It wasn't so not all that long ago. So we've improved that.
Yeah.
And I think his goal was 17%.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the, like I said, that's the industry standard, that 16 to 18% is that is what's the acceptable rate. I want better, but that's just something for us to work for. Right, something for us to work towards.
Steve, the hydrant fees that were in your budget were 250,000 or 300?
Let's see, we took out
We took out,
I think it was 250.
275. It was 350, because I think it was 350, Brian, because he took half of it out.
so we took out 175,
Yeah,
and we have 175 left.
correct.
And that's enough that you can,
Well, again, that's a, I'm not gonna say that's money that I don't see, but it's money I don't see.
Yeah.
That just goes into that fund balance. It builds up our war chest. So it's not like, it doesn't come directly out of the operating budget.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I lost 175 out of my water distribution, we can't do anything. That goes into that fund.
Yeah, it's revenue.
It's
coming
revenue
into
that
the
comes
water
into the
fund.
water fund that we don't.
So, okay, sorry, last question. When you have a leak, like the one by Mass Landing, where's that money coming from, an emergency fix? Is that coming out of that fund balance that you mentioned?
No, that comes out of just our regular operating budget.
Okay,
So we fix that ourselves, so that's manpower, our labor line, fuel,
so to hit that other one, it's catastrophic.
catastrophic, correct. That's in case of emergency break glass. We don't want that one.
Right.
Okay, 800 series, which is the department's professional development line. Questions on that? Okay, 900 series, which is debt service, principal and debt service interest. Why has that gone down from
I love it.
previous?
I love it going down.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Why is that going down, the principal and the interest?
There must be a bond issue that,
Pay on the bills.
as
Coming
the,
off.
as the years go on, the payments go down.
And the only one, the new one we have will be South Main, but that'll be 2027 before that goes.
We
Okay.
don't have them this year. Oh,
That's sewer.
not water. Thank you.
Okay, if you want to go to the front of your book on water distribution, there's a section on personnel administration, water. No, not,
Water fund.
water fund, the section,
Page 2.
yeah. This includes the health, life, dental, workers' comp insurance. Questions on that? Okay, if you keep going, keep moving. It has a breakdown of the personal administration, all this insurance and costs. Then the next page will be the 400 series, which is computer maintenance, and 700 series, which is computer hardware.
Can I ask a question about these charts? As we know, operation and maintenance, the operation is the sewer rate and the maintenance is the taxpayer. Is there any way you can, without me having to add up and split up which is what, is there any way you can show on the chart which is, it's showing the overall, but which is the operation part and which is the maintenance part financially? I guess I'm asking the wrong person.
I'm just trying to follow you. Are you talking about this one right here that has water
Well, I
department?
think I'm probably asked Sam. Did you do these charts?
I did not.
Did you do the charts?
Jim did them.
Jim
yeah.
did them.
Huh?
Jim did them.
Oh, okay, well, maybe I could just ask him.
What did you want
Yeah,
to get,
what's your
Suzanne?
question?
Yeah, because I think I can answer it, Suzanne. Are you looking at this one right here, the pie chart?
Well, there's that one and then there's one further on. And it's the same kind of thing.
There's one for sewer, one for water.
What?
There's one in the water department. This one here?
No, I'm on sewer. Aren't we on sewer?
No, she's
No,
not.
we're on water.
I saw, oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay.
But I think the principle's the same. I think the principle you're asking is about the same, right?
Well, I think so, which I'm just trying to make sure I understand so I can
Yeah.
answer it. So if you look at this one right here,
Water.
the water one,
Yeah, but water, we don't pay anything, taxes.
no, okay.
So I don't need it on water. I'll need it when we get to sewer.
Oh,
Okay.
that's not
I
true.
reserve the question when we get to sewer. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's also user paid. Suzanne,
Yeah.
that's also user paid.
I can't hear him down there.
It's also user paid.
Oh,
The sewer users pay for it.
There's no impact to taxes.
No tax impact.
well,
Unless-
there is, because we pass warrants and we support putting in new lines and. so
But that's
there-
not, but that I think is for the capital projects, not the operation side. And
The
I think
operational
that's,
side of things is no tax impact on either of these funds, sewer or water.
it would be if we do a sewer pump station, more
Yeah.
so that's the warrant article, not the day-to-day meter checks and things like that.
No, but there's still an impact on the, like, I have my own,
Yeah.
well, and my own, septic tank, but I still pay for, water and sewer, because if we put a line in or something, that typically the debt services we're paying, yes, that's going down, but that does come out of the budget. We, the taxpayers, are supporting these funds. They're not 100% enterprise, are they?
Water is.
Water is.
Water's 100% enterprise. We don't pass warrant articles that we're putting water lines in that,
It doesn't, if you look at it, it's 0%
okay.
impact to the taxpayer. The water fully supports itself.
well, and I misspoke at when I was with you. Water is fully funded. Sewer is operation and maintenance, but water's fully funded. I misspoke at something we were at. And the reason water can do its own funding is because there's like 2 or 3 times more users than there are on sewer. Sewer, I can't remember the numbers, but sewer only has a few users as compared to water pays for itself because it's one of those things that the revenue is, but the question still remains on water, is that at what point does the revenue have to be looked at because of the infrastructure and raising the rates? I mean, you can only raise the rates so much on people that are on water. I have no idea what people are paying, but I imagine it's pretty good, pretty hefty to run this whole budget.
So water, as far as state goes, we're right in the middle on the water. We're middle rate average. Sewer, we are very high. Sewer, we're one of the highest in the state as far as our rates go. For a lot of the reasons you just said. You know, it's not just the amount of users. The infrastructure, again, is very old. We have a lot of pump systems, which need, and the pumps cost more. You know, the water is gravity. So once the lines are in, we actually have a pressure reducing valve in the corner of Beach Pond Road because it gains so much pressure on the way down. Sewer is the exact opposite. We have to pump it everywhere.
So can I ask a question then?
Yeah, go ahead,
Sam? The 41,550 account, then no money is being transferred from the general fund in any way into this enterprise fund to pay for personnel it's fully funded, even personnel is fully funded from the enterprise
I
fund?
believe that admin allocation goes the other way. It comes out of the water. So like, for instance, part of my salary comes out of that. Part of that goes to the billing department to cover for billing. It's the other way. It's
Okay.
coming from the enterprise to the general fund. That is,
Okay.
correct me if I'm wrong.
So the only part, they're correct, but there's a slight discrepancy, and that's hydrants.
Correct.
Hydrants come out of the general fund.
For the fire
So
station.
the line item covers, so that the hydrant line item covers significant costs of purchasing, installing, maintaining fire hydrants, which can include hydrant unit itself, labor permits, and the use by the fire department. So the hydrant cost is something that is on the general taxpayer in the town. The water that is cleaned, put in pipes, and distributed to homes and consumed and water bills paid for is 100% including the labor and all the costs covered. The electric department, same. Every bit of electricity that goes into every home is paid for by the user's rates and 100% covered. And both the water distribution and the electric company have a reserve account from excess revenues from the sale of their products. That goes to infrastructure, updating, maintaining, and things like that. The sewer is the most expensive thing to operate in any community in the state. It is a much larger delta T to take filthy water and make it clean enough to put out into the environment, where when you take fairly clean water out of a pond and have to make it potable, that takes less infrastructure, less of everything. So years ago in '92 or something like that, there was a warrant article that said, and this one, it was voted for by the town, it said, do you want to, as a warrant article, do you want to allow the sewer department to put capital improvements to the voter and to be used by general taxation money from the general fund to do those upgrades? That had to be done because the state regulation says that you can't use general money from the general fund in order to upgrade your sewer or water or enterprise funds. The town of Wolfeboro voted to allow that to happen so that we can have warrant articles now to support our sewer fund, or else the rates would be astronomical and it would shut down our business. There'd be a big mess. So the voters voted at that time to allow that.
Question,
Go ahead, Suzanne.
can you produce that warrant article?
Right now, no.
No. Can you bring it to the next meeting?
Yeah, you've seen it.
No, I have not. Operation and maintenance, I've never seen a warrant article that split it
No,
up.
not operation management, it's capital improvements.
Okay, but,
Just for capital improvements, capital
well,
expenditures.
I'd like to see the warrant article, and while you're at it, find me the one that splits up operation and maintenance, that the people voted on that.
I don't remember seeing that one.
Because there is, I'd like to see one because we'd split up operation and maintenance. Taxpayers pay, I forget, I always get it backwards. Taxpayers pay, operation is, in the rate, and maintenance is, the taxpayer.
Okay, we haven't
No,
we haven't
maintenance is
moved
not
on
the
to sewer
taxpayer.
yet. We're still gonna
That's not the
finish
case.
up water, okay?
I'm talking about sewer.
Yeah, we're not even there yet, so let's hold off on that for just a minute so we can figure out what the water treatment plant is. Next one is water treatment plant. 100 to 200 series, which is the salaries and benefits, less the insurance. Any questions on 100 and 200? Next one is the 300 series, which includes expenses for consultants and also the telephone, and there's outside services, which are required by the state. There's some EPA mandated technician services, and there's maintenance technician assistance, some of the alarms, fire alarm inspections and certification. That's up at the plant, is that where that? Okay. Any questions on the 300 series? Yes, Bobby?
Can I just make a comment? Thank you for checking for PFAS. And I do have a question off of that. If, do we have a problem with PFAS in our town, or we're clean?
We're good
Nice.
so far.
400 series? That's electricity, heat and oil, vehicle maintenance, grounds maintenance, communications maintenance, and machinery maintenance, and some building maintenance. Any questions on the 400 series?
Question,
Yes, sir.
line 435. The trim boards and doors, Steve, is that a one-time shot?
Yeah. Yeah. That's just getting, we've got so many buildings up there that we're trying to pick apart. So we do have an asset management plan for that whole complex. Yeah,
Okay,
we
so,
pick-
but once that $8,000 in trim boards and all that
Yeah.
stuff is done, then it'll disappear from,
More than likely, it'll be there next year, just have be attached to something else. We'll
Okay.
continue to,
thank you.
but yes, it's a one-time project.
Gotcha.
Also, the 400, 500 series, which is the printing, dues, and subscriptions. Questions there? 600 series is some general operating supplies, office supplies, maintenance supplies, gasoline and propane.
Questions?
Yes, sir?
Line 610. General operating supplies, a pretty big jump. Are we in the same situation there with
Unit costs.
unit costs?
We put that out to bid each year. So you gotta remember this 2025 is from 2023. So,
Yeah, I recognize it. Gotcha.
Well, set for 600.
2 years worth of price increases built in, right?
700 series is the machinery and equipment line items and furniture and fixtures. 800 series includes any travel and meetings for the employees for training. Where's that AWWA conference this year?
I believe it's in Colorado.
Just one person, two people,
Yeah, it'd be Josh.
Josh? Does he do a report back to you as far as anything new that he's learned or?
We haven't been able to send him, but that's the goal.
Cool, good.
Yeah, so anytime, like, we haven't done anything of any training or any conferences like that since '23.
Right.
I went to one back in '23, and yeah, I did a thing up for Jim. That's actually how I got our asset management software from that.
Okay,
A
great.
few other things, so.
Questions on the 800? 900 series is debt service principal, it's a decrease. Debt service interest, there's a slight increase. Must be paying off some more of the principal on some of the debt service that we have.
I believe one bond payment in '25 had been flip-flopped, water treatment and water distribution. Was a sewer. There's one that was.
Oh,
Might have been sewer.
maybe so.
Yeah. In the budget, there was a payment for one of the bonds that was just under one department. So one department was over, one was short. We
Okay.
corrected it this year for the
Okay.
budget. I'll find out which one.
Okay.
That's a real number. That is a true number. what we're
Yes,
looking at.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions on the, anything to do with the water department?
I just have one question.
Yes, Bobby?
Is this the same, it's showing that there's a vacant position, is that still vacant, or did you fill that?
No, so that actually became vacant, technically probably today. So Josh was primary operator in the union. He was promoted on a trial basis. His 6 months probation actually ended today. So once he vacated the union to management, that opens up a union spot. So there will be we have, technically as of today, we have one union spot, unofficially, officially.
How long does it take to fill that spot, do you think?
Well, so probably, I haven't talked with Jim on it, but I'm probably not gonna try to fill it until this budget passes, honestly.
Till what?
Till the budget passes. If the budget passes in March, then we'll fill it. Because if, there's no sense in hiring somebody for 4 months.
Right, so could we take out January and February out of the salary line for those 2 months if you're not gonna hire anybody?
Probably. Like I said, I have not had that conversation with Jim, but my gut tells me if there's a possibility that we're gonna go to default and we're gonna have to lay people off, why would I hire somebody?
But either way, if
Yeah.
I'm hopeful the budget's gonna pass, either
Me
way,
too.
it's not gonna start until March, so why
Correct.
should we pay for the January and February?
January, February.
I'd make that motion, if I could just get a second to request the finance director to see what those numbers would be.
Second.
Bob? Any further discussion?
If we don't fill the open spot.
Seeing none, the motion is to request the finance director to give us the numbers for January and February for that one position that's now vacant, as it will not be filled until, possibly until March anyhow. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You'll probably need a few days to get that together, those numbers and stuff.
I could probably have it for Thursday night.
Okay, and insurance and everything for the whole position?
Yes, yep.
Okay, great, thank you. Just to wrap up the water department, as you've explained to us, this entire budget that we're going to pass for the water department, hopefully, is covered by the user's fees. There's no tax impact on anyone's taxes. And
Correct,
there's also enough money to tuck away for any type of emergency we may have.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Can I just ask about the rate for those of us not on water? Like 10-year average, 5-year average, is it fairly flat or,
No, it pretty much goes up every year.
but consistent year over year?
So I can only attest to what's been for the last 3 years, and we've been fairly consistent. I think in COVID it was paused. They didn't do anything for 2 years. And prior to that, so we have projected through, so the next, I want to say I'm bringing that forward on the 17th for that discussion, and to where we'll be for 2026. So there'll be a steady increase, like most things.
That's also what the consultant company helps out with?
So yeah, so Underwood takes, again, what we'll do is I will take our they have a copy of our CIP, how much money we need to put in to do our projects, plus what our estimated operating budget is gonna be for whatever year, plus anything I need to buy. Say I need to buy a new truck, or I need to buy it. I give them all of that numbers, they run that through, and then they'll project it, what we need to have, or what we need to build to be able to cover that, to go to what John said, which is to make sure that the users cover the whole cost.
Thank you.
Okay, we all set there? Let's move on to sewer. First section is the personnel administration. That's basically the insurance benefits.
So John,
Yes.
this is where I was asking about the chart. And since Jim made them up, maybe I best, if it's okay with you, ask him my question, see if he can adjust his chart.
Okay.
What is the question again, Suze?
The question is, because we split operation and maintenance, one's the taxpayer and one is the user, can he reflect that on the chart? Because his chart is just showing what percent is for administration, technology, collection, and wastewater treatment plant. Can he, I don't know how to make a chart, but can he show out of this chart what is operation and what is maintenance?
He can, but operation and maintenance both come from the rates.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Capital improvements, meaning capital expenditures, those go to the voters.
Right here, read the bottom of the page. Operation are funded by sewer, and then the funding for taxpayers is fund transfer, and it's a capital, but that's called, in the old day, we called it operation and maintenance.
O&M.
O&M.
So I don't.
Am I confused?
Sam, can you, well, I'm confused. So here's how I look at it, and I don't know how this works. So I think Bobby asked the question is the ratepayer, the taxpayer, paying for a part of the sewer fund? This is part of the sewer enterprise fund. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay. And that's done at the end of the year. And Sam, keep me honest here. It's done at the end of the year when the sewer fund, as in 2024, showed a negative balance of $469,000. Okay? On $1.1 million of revenue, it spent 1.6 on expense, had a deficit of 469,030. At the end of the year, the accountants, the auditors go in and they hit the unrestricted fund balance. Well, they don't even get, it doesn't even get there. It's before it becomes unrestricted funds, they kind of settle up. There's a settlement process that goes along. So is the taxpayer paying that bill?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's true. Now, Brian's point is right, and that is 100% of the debt for sewer is on general taxation, decision taken, whatever it was, and you're looking for the warrant article that did that, whatever. And so that's just the way it works. Now, so having said all that, I have no idea how to bust up what you're looking for. I don't know how to do it.
Well,
I think it's all the same. The taxpayer is paying for O&M. They are.
oh, I don't doubt it.
Ultimately,
I don't
through
doubt
the
it
settlement
for a second.
process. Ultimately, through the settlement process.
Only if the sewer fund doesn't break even.
And it doesn't.
I understand it doesn't, but
Correct.
let's talk
If it did-
about philosophy
Yeah,
first.
if it did, it would be like Barry's business, it'd be super,
Okay.
but it doesn't.
But that's my point.
Yeah.
Philosophically, if the sewer fund paid for itself, there would be no taxpayer impact.
Correct.
Fact is, we've been running in a negative fashion for years and years and years. and
Forever.
years.
Forever, since it was built.
Whatever.
So then the next
But
question
that
would
is
be,
a taxpayer impact.
the next question would be, and this is just my math, and it's probably wrong, but, permit me. The next question would be, okay, so what would it take on a rate basis to have the sewer fund become break even?
Neutral.
You'd have to raise prices 3.62 times. Here's how I did the math. You add up all the debt assigned to the sewer fund, it totals about 5.4 million. Take out the revenue, leaves you 4.27. You'd have to raise the raise 3.62 times. So if you're paying $100, you'd be paying $360 a month. That's the impact. Now, where we need to have a conversation is, what you find is, and Suzanne observed it, the more customers you add to a monopoly, the better you become, because your average cost per customer goes down, right? The question is, do we have the financial capacity, the physical capacity to make this sewer thing bigger? And I think the answer to that is no. So we're stuck.
And we only have limited infrastructure available to add more customers on. We can't
Right.
just pile as many
Can't pile as
customers.
many on.
Okay, thank you guys.
I want
Steve?
to hear from
I can give this what she's looking for. I have it right here
You
from
can.
the Underwood PowerPoint
Okay.
from
All right.
January.
Thank
So
you.
we can get that to you tomorrow.
Could you just get it to all of us?
Or I can get it to all of you. If
Thank
you
you.
want to see, I can forward the PowerPoint to everybody.
Great.
The question that I have is
How much?
old school operation and maintenance. Back in John Burke's day, when he was on the budget committee, it sort of was decided, and yet I hear some officials say it was voted. If anyone can find how we voted to divvy this up, I would welcome seeing that paperwork.
So there was a warrant article in March of 2019 at town meeting to establish the existing wastewater treatment plant capital reserve fund.
Yeah,
So-
and then keep reading, does it not say, and we'll bring that information back to the voters? Is that the one that says afterwards, and that?
I'll have to find the exact.
Well, yeah, I
warrant
think
article.
there's something more, and they never came back to the voters with the information.
I think, Brian, I think
If
what
that's
Suzanne
the
is
warrant
asking
article.
is, at what point was the decision taken to allocate 100% of the debt to general taxation? That's the question you're asking. Just as, at what point was the decision taken to allocate, my number, 87% of the debt for the pot to general taxation? That was taken at deliberative session, okay? But I can't,
Ian.
you're looking
If I
for
just send that to you,
the debt on the sewer department.
Sewer,
Yeah.
it's clearer on the Poplar one than it is this.
Bobby?
And then one other
Suzanne?
thing,
Suzanne, hold on for a second.
One other
Bobby?
thing-
Suzanne,
Go
just
ahead.
hold on for,
okay.
Bobby, go
So
ahead.
I just want to make a comment, just for anybody who's watching right now, because especially we're probably going to separate this sewer fund out. I want to make sure that those of us who are not on sewer, who do have our own septic tanks, realize that this fund has to pass. I mean, we don't want fecal matter running through the streets of Wolfeboro.
That would be
So
bad.
let's
That would be
let's
bad.
talk about the fact that this does impact all of us. We do have lines coming from this library, and we have lines coming from town hall, and we have lines from our schools and hospitals and
Nursing
everything
homes.
else. So I just want to I just want to make a comment here, because I don't want people to be led astray that in any way that this is not important for us to, those of us not on the sewer line, to not share in the responsibility of a sewer line. So
I mean, that's why
I just
think
wanted
the
to say that,
selectmen
because
said that, is that
I
100%
felt,
by the town. That's why
I
the
just felt like
selectmen
we
did that.
were going a little bit astray, making this sound
Yeah,
like only those on the sewer line needed to pay for it.
Suzanne?
Yeah,
wrap it
Bobby,
up.
this is as old as Mohammed, this discussion.
Yeah.
And it's been decided by the voters, every time we do some big upgrade to the sewer facility or the mechanism, anything to do with sewer, it's always split up. It's been known, everybody that's not on sewer has that gripe, oh, we don't want to have to pay, I paid $5,000 to put my holding tank in.
Yeah.
It's been, if people don't know it by now, they'll never know it. And the argument always comes back for those people, the good-hearted people that say, well, you know, we need it for downtown, we need it, everybody uses the public facility and so forth, so. Nobody's being led astray, believe me. For 20 years, I've heard that story.
Yeah, I just think we're in a time where people are a little cranky, and I want to make sure that the things they're a little cranky about, that we're making sure that this might not be something
The
to be
discussion
crazy.
on sewer is never going to go away.
Yeah.
But I have
Yeah.
one more question.
Go ahead.
That I'd like the budget committee to have,
Yes, Suzanne?
is the report, the sewer report. The sewer report. How much capacity do we have? How much, what do we have to build out? What do we need to know that so we can start pushing for future.
Underwood is working on that as we speak. We've contracted them. They're gonna be doing, they
We
should
got the
be,
report, but the selectmen
don't-
weren't happy with it because
We are-
of different reasons.
correct. We are doing, that predates me.
Have you got money in there to get a new report?
They are working on it right now.
Yeah? Okay.
It's gonna be a phased project because it's very extensive. Phase 1 will be delivered when it is 95% complete.
Okay, thank you. Let's do personal administration. Again, that's the insurance benefits, also the 102 series, which is some salaries.
I'm sorry, John, were we on Public Works Administration?
No, sewer.
Oh, sewer. Sorry. Thank you.
Technology, computer maintenance and computer hardware.
Wait, where are we?
Okay. Sewage collection, which is the 300 series.
Run the 300 series, John.
We've done technology services. Yeah, 300 series, which includes the telephone, medical services, the cleaning of the, some of the drainage, vacuuming, monitoring the pump stations, traffic controls, sewer main inspection, outside contractors for repairs.
A question on 380.
Yes, sir.
The vacuum truck for collections cleaning, is that part of the storm drain stuff?
Stone drains are different one. So, same truck, different practice. So, highway has them come in and do the storm drains.
Right.
These guys come in, they do all the pump stations, the manholes, they jet the main lines. That's a same truck, two different functions.
Thank you.
Okay, 400 series. Is that new, that $20,000 new, is that for that, what's new on the, from last year?
On which one,
Well,
380?
you went from 39 to 59, what are we doing different? Well, that's administrative cost,
Yeah.
increase there, okay. Electricity, water, sewer, vehicle maintenance.
John, can we go back to 382, please? Line 382, administrative cost allocation, and I go through this every year, much to my frustration. I'd like to know why the massive increase.
Let me bring it up. I think the problem is it
Board of
keeps hitting the
Supervisors
default,
increased
so
it.
it keeps going back to the 2023 numbers. That's the real problem.
So what you're saying is basically it's a function of increased costs, and we haven't really addressed it for 2 years.
Exactly, we
because
do a
of
new
the default. Is that
calculation
what I'm
every
hearing?
year. In the last 2 years, it's gone back to the default number.
All right, thank you.
Brian, do you know where that went up? Brian? Do you know where that went up? Do you recall?
So I would say that, as Sam said, the default budget throws us back, and Steve said it with the cost of materials. So when you have a line item and you go back to default, you go back to 3 years ago. And so now.
We're talking about 382 where it says you guys increased it. 382?
382 increase.
Yeah, that was what the question was, 382 where you guys increased it, where it says the select board increased.
Administrative cost allocation, line 382.
Yes, that's where I am. And we went from, let me check my notes, see if I have any notes in my
Thank
book.
you.
Sam, you don't have a,
Well, it's a number of departments and positions, tax collector, finance, public works director, the executive, town manager, legal. It's all those costs to run those departments are added up and then spread out over general fund, water fund, electric fund, sewer fund, and in very few cases, sometimes the pump as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. 400 series, electricity, water, sewer, vehicle maintenance, communication maintenance, building maintenance, and rentals and leases. .600 series, office supplies, maintenance supplies, crushed gravel, pavement, annual inspections of the generators, oil pumps, belts, manhole frames and covers, pallets of pods and sewer brick, pallets of mortar, and a lot of repairs and replacements.
I just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the manhole frames and covers, you're doing 40 of them? Is
Yep.
it always that high?
No. So this is specifically, we're repaving Sewell Road this year. All those
Okay.
covers need to be replaced.
So this is sewer.
The
Okay.
majority of them are going on Sewell Road.
Okay.
So we usually do 10 or 15 a year. We have to do the balance of them this year.
Okay.
That brings up an interesting question. Why then would that not be, well, I'll take Sewell Road because I live there. And I know what you're talking about, manhole covers, because there's bumps and bumps and bumps on that
Nah,
road.
they're manholes, it's
Still, okay? Why is that not repair, why is that cost not part of the road repair?
So the reason we do that is the same way that if I was replacing a hydrant or a water main on that road. It's a sewer function. If they break, it comes out of the sewer fund. They should be repaired out of the sewer fund. That's how I look at it.
Well, I gotta tell you, I don't look at it that way.
So if we
If
can
you're
look,
doing the road repairs and you gotta do some manhole raising or whatever, it's part of the reason, the road repair is part of the cause of the
so
manhole.
we could,
So
we
that
then would
cost
have
should be
to,
carried by the road repair.
and we could, but then you have to up you're gonna have to take the money from here and put it on that one to raise it up. So one way or another, I need 30 grand. I think it should come out of the operating budget, because that is something the sewer department is gonna do, just like if it's a water box or anything else. They raise those up all the time. Those are paid for out of that fund. If we're doing, we're doing a water main on that road, the road money's not, when we did Green Street and we're gonna do River Street, we gotta redo those hydrants and those gate boxes and that water main. The road money's not paying for that. The enterprise fund's paying for that,
Even the hydrants?
even the hydrants. The highway road money, how I view that is for the roads, and the roads, drainage, roads, that's general fund work.
Yeah, I thought, and I'm sorry to go back to hydrants, but I thought the hydrants was a part of the other fund.
The hydrants is part of the water fund. Correct.
The physical hydrants is part of the water fund.
Yes.
So I don't understand that user fee then.
What do you mean,
The hydrant fee,
for the fire department?
yeah, what is it covering? And
It's
that's not to you maybe, but.
It's an allocation for them to use the hydrants. That's what that's covering.
Okay, but any repair, damage, replacement,
All comes out of the operating budget.
okay.
We have no access to that 350,000 or this year 175, whatever it is.
There's a whole class on that hydrant. There is.
I need
And
it.
you gotta
I need
take
it.
that class to understand it, 'cause- and you might still not understand it.
Yeah.
Quick question, we're
Yeah,
talking about
go ahead.
manhole covers.
I think it's the second course of the administrative allocation routine.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
The drainage cover in Carpenter,
Yeah, that's
when are we
not,
gonna fix that thing?
that's not a town, that's a school thing.
Is it really?
That's a school problem.
So, I mean, they do that and you don't have any,
It's not our property, it's town property. I mean, school property,
no kidding.
yeah,
Making the best effort to not do work on private land.
correct, even if it's the
We're
school.
trying real hard.
It's,
But
it's,
what happens when that fails?
Okay, guys, let's move on to the 700 series
That's awful.
machinery and equipment. Sewer pumps, propellers, wear plates, check valves, electric motors, etc. Any questions on that one? Okay, 800 series, which is the professional development. Okay. And then we've got the 900, which is the debt service principal, and the debt service interest. Any questions on those?
Yeah, just a quick question, and I think Bobby may have answered it. The increase in that debt service principal and interest is due to the pump station activity, is that correct?
First year.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on.
You didn't have to.
Is anybody gonna talk about overtime? Overtime?
Next
John,
one,
is anyone
Did you
gonna
hear Susan?
ask about overtime?
what overtime would you like to discuss?
We're not there yet? When they're there?
Which section you were looking, questioning about, highway department?
Sewage.
I don't, well, every time it's overtime, instead of me asking the question, can we just have the person that wants it answer it? What do they do, what do they use it for? Why?
so the sewer department specifically, they're on call, they come in every weekend. They come in, they get 6 hours every weekend minimum. They have to do pump station checks, 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday. Every
And on
day.
holidays.
And on holidays, it's extra. That's the biggest part.
John, so I got your answer, but it's kind of tough. The administrative cost allocation, Casey actually took and broke out the expenses of the tax collector through all the funds, the finance,
Oh, boy.
That's it.
Time to go.
the finance. So-
So.
So Casey broke out the tax collector among all funds, the finance director among all funds, the public works director on all funds, and all the funds, and then had to take and calculate what that cost was in '23, and then up to '26, because we have to keep going back to the '23 default budget.
Ergo, you're up
And
50%.
so that's where you get the cost increase, because we need that cost increase to cover the salaries that are broken up by fund. General fund, water fund, electric fund, sewer fund, public works. So that, because tax collection happens across 4 of them, finance happens across 5 of them. It's the way it's broken up.
Is that the
So,
last sheet of this packet you're talking about?
yeah. So that's where that comes from. And that was a number that was calculated by finance, and it was actually put forward by Jim Pinio, and it's on the select board's budget, but by the recommendation of Jim Pinio through the finance department.
Okay, let's move on to,
Oh, there you
thank
go.
you, Brian.
Okay.
Let's move on to wastewater treatment plant. There's no 100, 200 line items. Next one is the 300 series, which again has the administrative cost allocations and some contract services. Can you explain the contract services?
So our sewage treatment plant is run by Wood and Kern Engineers, so they are a fully subbed out consultant that runs that whole plan for us. And that's, they're $859,000.
And that contract runs out next year, 2026?
We just signed a 5-year extension this year. And it's roughly anywhere from 3 to 5% increase each year.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the 300 series?
I just
Barbara?
have a question on that. So if they're running it and we have these contracts, why do we have overtime then for people to go in and check it?
We
Can
have
you just
over- we
explain
have
this to me?
Overtime on the collections, not on treatment. Collection is us, treatment is them.
Okay,
That answers your question.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 400 series, getting into electricity and kilowatt hours and also insurance. 500 series is the dues and subscriptions, annual dam registration fees. What do we have for dams now?
So for this, we have the lagoon, the sewer going up.
Just the lagoon?
Yeah, just the lagoon.
And then we,
John?
I'm sorry, Bobby.
I'm sorry, I just have to ask a question on this, because this is where the testing would be. Do we test our effluent waste before we spray it?
They do, yes.
They
So-
are testing it? Where can one find a report on that?
So let me look, I believe it is included in my monthly report that I put up,
Okay.
that I submit, that should be up on the website.
And
So
do
that
they
covers-
also test for PFAS?
They do,
They do? Okay.
yeah. And let me check to see if it's on that. Honestly, I glance over it and I get the briefings, but
Okay.
I couldn't tell you if every single test result is on that. It's
Yeah.
probably not. but,
Okay.
um,
I just don't see that amount on here, so I was curious about that. Okay.
They do
Thanks.
all in-house testing that's in their structure.
Okay.
Okay, so 900 series, which is the debt service principal and debt service interest. Any questions on that?
You love that number, don't you?
Okay, I think that concludes everything we've got to cover. Where is that? No. Sam, do you have the sewer fund transfer number? Operating transfer?
For 26,
Yeah.
should be
For this budget, I
under,
don't see it in that folder yet.
I agree. I looked all through the book. I
Couldn't
can't
find it.
the general fund expense that goes for the sewer fund transfer.
Oh.
It's like 43191.
I think I just heard them talking about looking at the general fund for a very, I mean, they had already done it. She's looking. I think last year Bobby requested that we put that, all the operating transfers in one page. Is that maybe why it's not in this one spot? Is it somewhere else? in the
I'm
book?
looking, I'm not really sure where it is, because it's usually just one line item on the spreadsheet.
But that number would be the number that's the shortfall for the sewer, right? For the entire sewer department?
I'm sorry, say that
Would that
again?
number be the number that's the shortfall on the revenue for the sewer department to cover their expenses?
Again, that's in the pivot, one second.
We can put that on the revisit list, you know, give you some time to,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to find out how they get that number. In 25, it was 544,688. And I'll keep looking where it is in 26.
She said it was 5.
yeah, for 2025, what would you say was 500?
I'm sorry, for 25, it was 544,688.
Okay, let's move on to Public Works. First section is the administration. Steve, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on with the department? Any goals you've set up for this year or coming up, or?
I'm sorry, any goals we have set up?
Yeah.
What you said? So, well, goal number one would be to get the budget passed. So that we can try to get kind of close to caught up as we can on some of the stuff that's lacked the last couple of years. Overall, we are focused on a maintenance program. That's what we are, maintenance workers. We have moved away from construction, focused solely on maintenance, culverts, ditching, things of that nature. That's the highway department. Buildings and grounds is a ever-evolving department on that end. You know, when we get to it, it's a budget that's low because it's been in default for a couple of years as we've been trying to augment that. Solid waste obviously handles all of our transfer station materials. We have 3 full-time employees up there, a couple seasonal guys in the summer. And then we have the maintenance garage, which handles over 100 pieces of town equipment that the 2 mechanics maintain.
Okay, so we'll start on Public Works Administration.
Yep.
How many employees in that as far as salary and benefits?
So there's 3 of us total. There's 2 salary employees, 50% of my salary, 100% of Steve's, and then we have our assistant Marie, who's under the hourly line.
Okay. Uh, 300 series, which is,
John,
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
That's okay.
On this whole business of Steve and his salary and all this. My understanding is, and it says right here, the DPW director is supposed to be 50% of the general fund, 25% to the water fund, and 25% to the sewer fund, right?
Yes.
Is that reflected on this budget? Because if it is, there's something wrong here.
So if you
Either that or
go,
you're getting paid a whole bunch more money than I think you are.
he's in there too. He's in the supervisory salary as well. 100% of Steve's supervisor salary is in there, 50% of mine. So if you go to, flip 2 or 3 pages under the, I don't know what it is in your book.
It's the back page here, it's the back page of the last page, says supervisory salaries, and I see that,
Yep.
okay? My question is, and I say 178,871,
So again,
but hang on, let me finish. Total wages and benefits now. Then we're saying, the notes up here say 50% to the general fund, which is the Public Works Administration, 25% to the water fund, and 25% to the sewer fund. Are you telling me that this 178,871 that I see under Stephen Randall, Public Works Director, is 50% of your salary?
no,
Well,
no.
then that's my question.
No, 25% of Steve's salary through the admin allocation journal entry, which is done quarterly, is moved to the water fund, and 25% is moved to the sewer fund.
God, the administrative allocation. Goddamn thing's gonna be death of me. Thank you.
No, I don't make 178.
I didn't think you did, but I want some clarification.
I mean, I'll take 178 if you guys want to vote that in.
I hear you.
I'm okay with that.
I hear you.
And that's what I kind of just explained with that other allocation, how it's broken
Well,
up by.
I understand that, but for transparency purposes, if we're saying that we put in these notes here in the 100 series in this backup. It says right here, I'm reading it, DPW director, 50% general fund, 25% water fund, 25% sewer fund. If we're not gonna do that for budget purposes, why is it even in there? Because it's confusing. If we're gonna allocate costs, and we're gonna take the 178,871 and say, okay, 86,000 remains in DPW, and actually physically take 25% of his salary and put it in the water fund budget, like it should be, why aren't we doing it? If we say we're doing it, we're not doing it, because if you look at the other budgets we just went through, his numbers don't show up in there. I don't understand this. I really don't. I have a massive problem with it. And you can talk about administrative allocation all you want to, but don't tell me that you're distributing the salary when you're not.
So you would want to have the DPW directors hit 50% here and then show the 25% kick in by the water department and the 25% by the sewer fund in their budget themselves?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If that's what we're doing from a cost point of view, then it should be reflected in the budget.
Is there a reason it's not?
And I must tell you, I really don't want to hear the word journal entries.
Sam, could you look
I
into
want to
that
see it
for us?
reflected in the budget.
Thank you, Sam. Okay, 300 series consultants.
I have a
Yes,
question
sir.
on that. Is that reduction okay? I mean, legitimately though, if that's for engineering, is that going to be an impact?
Yes, but it kind of is what it is.
But that covers like all projects under your purview?
No. All that covers is, for instance, we're trying to do a couple road layouts, Wood Ave, Railroad Ave. I needed some survey check on Wolfeboro Road. So that's what I would take that out of. The surveys for any road projects and things like that that we're doing will come out of that particular project. This is the odds and ends things, let's say. I mean, even $5,000 is pretty cheap to hire a surveyor for stuff.
Okay.
That's what I said, right? Oh, no, that's what I said, no.
Okay, just to get back to Bob's question, make sure I understand it. Sam, you're saying the allocation amount that's in each budget, the sewer and the water fund, that money is included in the allocation amount for the difference in the salary?
No, how it is, 100% of Steve's salary and benefits or hit the general fund. And then as part of a larger admin allocation, I hate to say it, journal entry that's done every quarter, is moving 25% of Steve's salary and benefits to the water fund and 25% to the sewer fund. That's the same for the finance, the IT, the executive. I'm happy to share the spreadsheet with you.
Okay, I think what Bob's looking for is he wants to be able to, if someone looks at the salary line, they're not going to see how that's done. They're going to look and go, oh my God, that number's huge.
And I agree
Yeah.
that I don't know why that 50, 25, and 25, I'm assuming that was there from a prior year and it didn't get caught, and it's printed this year. I agree
I have
that
no
that
clue. I
portion
just
should
have
be
a problem
removed.
with it. If in fact, from a cost point of view, if in fact, the 187,000 and change should in fact be spread like that, then why don't we just do it from a budget point of view instead of hiding it in the administrative allocation? Or some journal entry that's done quarterly. It's not transparent. I really have a problem with the transparency of this whole administrative allocation thing, this 50, 25, 25 business, it's bogus numbers.
Can I ask a question about that, Bob? Is it just the department heads? Because the administrative allocation includes, if I'm understanding correctly, Sam and other administrative people, right? But in this case, I see your point, the department head could be distributed the way that it is to the appropriate budgets.
Right.
But the remaining administrative allocation, are you okay with that?
I'm okay with the concept because I understand that for example, let's take the water and sewer fund. I know the tax office is the one that puts the bills out. So obviously that makes sense. It's an overhead function that is done by somebody else. So there's a cost involved that should be supported by the department that they're doing the work for. I don't have a problem with that. So the administrative allocation, although the concept of it really escapes me, I'm okay with it if that's all it is. You know, support other departments that are supporting your departments. I understand the administrative cost allocation, and basically that happens with all of the enterprise funds. They carry an administrative cost allocation function for work that other departments do for them as support. I don't have a problem with it.
Yes.
The concept, but I just have a problem with direct costs being journal entered later on. I just do. And Steve's salary and his function as director of the three departments should be split. And those departments should carry that direct cost of operation. It's not an administrative cost allocation because he's in fact doing the work. So therefore, it ought to be split up amongst the departments that he's doing the work for. To me, it's a direct cost of operations. Administrative cost allocation is an overhead function.
Sam, you can get back to us with figuring that out, splitting it out to see.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jim about it
Okay.
tomorrow, yeah.
Thank you.
And that probably includes health insurance and all that other stuff to divvy up between each group, right?
Yeah, yeah. It
Okay.
gets tricky from a payroll aspect, the more you divvy up.
And that could be the reason why it,
I think
so,
it is.
because when I first started, my salary was split amongst 4 different departments, was 4 different lines, 4 different everything. This is the first time we've trying to do it this way, and I think a lot of that has to do with that. We do it this way, it comes out of one account, it's not split amongst all these, and then they just do the journal entry to transfer the money over.
Okay.
So I think from an admin standpoint, it's much easier this way. I understand to your point, transparency and things like that. I think that's why the 25-25 is written in there like it is. And then admin allocation, could it be possible to, under that admin allocation part that's something to do with me, there's a note in there that says X amount of dollars for Public Works Director?
Right.
Because if not, it makes the payroll like this, because it's this from this, and this from this, and this from this.
Bob,
I just have
hold on a second, Bob.
Sam, I'm curious, the fire department has a breakdown of salaries, so we know what the salaries are, because that's what we're arguing about. So does the town have a breakdown of salaries, whether it's on their website or in a book that they put out? And if we don't, then maybe we should be doing it. Because the school does it, the fire department certainly breaks it down in this.
Right,
Police
we-
department breaks it down in this.
We break it down in this, all of ours are.
But it's set up the way he doesn't like it. So my question is, do we have town employees, do we put their salaries in a public format so people can see it because it's public?
We don't, because I've looked for it.
So
So maybe that's something we should do.
if I may, not to be argumentative, I actually think the way that it's in here is clearer for the people reading it, because it puts my salary in one line.
Right.
They don't have to go through 3 different pages, 3 different budgets to find 25% of it in the water, 25% of it in the sewer, and 50% of it in the general fund. It's all right here, one line, this is what I make.
They wouldn't, because it would be in a book saying what you make yearly, period, end of story. They'll break it down.
Bobby?
I just want to make sure we're not confusing the backup. On the backup, yes, your salary's in one place, but when I'm looking at 43-110, the 113 line, That's where that 25% is. So I'm just hearing two different things in the room, and I want to make sure that we're all understanding that when we're reading the backup for Steve's salary, for example, and what we're seeing there is not necessarily what we're seeing on Public Works Administrative 100 series account on the 43,110 line for 113. Because that 200 has the 25%.
It has 100%.
No, because if I take that 200, I mean, Steve is 82 of that, right?
That Steve is 82 of that.
Yeah, and that's on the 43,110 line. But then you also have,
You also have Marie.
yeah,
Marie's part of that, yeah.
So it's,
so are you saying you don't want it here, you want it immediately distributed?
It's just the way I do costing. In my history, I've done cost accounting that way. If a salary, an overhead is split amongst, if you've got a supervisor or management person who's responsible for 3 separate departments in a budget, my history says you split that cost amongst the budgets.
Bob is saying
That's
he
just-
wants to see
that's
Steve's
just-
salary fully allocated across everything.
That's
So
basically
you
what
put
it
a
is.
piece of paper and you can say, Steve's salary in this function is X, and I can sum that, and that's the cost of the department. Steve's salary over here is X minus 25%, and that's how it costs it.
That's kind of where I'm coming from, Paul, but, you know, I don't have a real problem with it being this way. I'm just expressing my thoughts on, when we do budgeting, budgeting means to me cost centers, okay?
You're right.
Cost centers carry an overhead. That overhead is made up of supervisory salaries.
So you want to see on the 40, you want to see on the 43,260, you wanted to see that 25% there. put in
From
that
a
spot.
budgeting point of view, and determining what costs are, yes, that's
And it was.
conceptually, yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yeah. And it was last year.
But, you know,
Let's
that's
move on, we're at 500,
something I'm obviously,
500
No, it was
series.
on that.
That's got the printing, all the dues, subscriptions, the advertising, posting the roads, and claiming notices, etc. 600 series is the operating supplies, includes uniforms, and shirts, career and binders, and some postage. 800 series is travels and meetings, and also professional development. National regional meetings, public works seminars. Okay, any questions on the administration of the Public Works Department? Sam's going to get back to us next meeting with the information about splitting up the salaries. As Public Works is salaries between the different departments. Okay, if we're all set on administration, let's move on to highways and streets. How many full-time employees do you have, Steve?
10.
Any
9.
openings?
One opening. We have one opening. So we have 9.
When do you anticipate filling that position?
We have it advertised now. We have closing at the end of the year. So we have 2 applicants right now. So I would expect to fill it first of the year.
Okay.
Now, if something, maybe we can explore the same thing you asked about the water department. If that's, again, that's up to Jim if he lets me hire. I think that's, you know,
Okay. You should know before we do the final budget if that's gonna happen or not.
Yep.
If you're gonna hire somebody. Because they probably, if you hire in December, you probably won't get them on board till, well, I don't know what kind of background you do, till February.
it doesn't take much for a background.
Really?
It's entry level, so as long as they can, you know, and
Have a commercial driver's license and whatever else there is.
Yeah, so we do in-house training for that now, so they don't
Oh,
even
you
have
do?
to.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a certified trainer, so as long, they don't even have to have a CDL anymore. We can hire them without training. So,
So can I just ask a quick question
Yes,
on
go ahead,
that?
Barbie.
So the person you lost though was single healthcare, right?
like,
So if you brought someone in with a family, we're talking about
we
a
budget, whenever we do the openings, we always budget a full family plan.
full family plan.
Yes.
Okay, because right now in here, it's a single, right, the person you lost?
Yeah, but I think it's budgeted for full family.
I believe we made the adjustment.
Okay,
Kind of happened all around the same time.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, he left.
Okay, so we've done the 100 series, which is the salaries and benefits. 300 series includes the broadband, iPads, medical services, which is DOT drug and alcohol testing, 3 tests per quarter, physicals to return to work, outside services, which includes the road striping, white log fog line, double yellow line, parking and crosswalk stripping, plowing of North Wakefield Road, and then some tree removal, guardrail repair, nuisance beaver removal, crack sealing, spraying invasive species, towing equipment transport, HVAC service for garage, electrician assistance at docks and pumps and garage, contract services for catch basin. So that's in addition, that 30,000, in addition to the 23,000 that we pay in the sewer for the catch
Because
basin.
the sewer has nothing to do with catch basins.
What's the one, what's the,
The sewer's manholes and pump stations.
okay, okay, but that's the same
Same truck.
truck and everything.
We have them, we usually get them for a month, 2 weeks for do sewer stuff, 2 weeks to do,
Yeah,
we do a month.
they
in the
do
spring.
most of their work at night, don't they?
No,
No, really?
no, unfortunately, no.
John, I have sort of a generic question.
Yes, ma'am.
If I were to ask you to break out what your budget is for the winter and the summer, what does it cost to run the town in the winter, and what does it cost to run the town in the summer? Can you do that?
Again, I can't, probably can't do it off the top of my head, but, so our, huh?
It's hard for the winter.
Yeah, it's hard for the winter because it depends on the winter. So we track, so just to give you guys an idea what we do with our iWorks program is we do entry every day. We know what it costs us every day that we do anything. Everything has a cost code to it. So when you say cost, do you just mean, you know, guys worked 8 hours and that's what the cost is? Or your cost as far as the wear and tear on the equipment, the fuel, the whole 9 yards? Because that's what we track for cost. So I can give you in real time exactly what we spent, probably not today, but with, 2 days ago, exactly what it cost us to turn the lights on and go out the door with whatever we did. And I can do that on a daily basis. So I just need a little bit more, I need you to be a little bit more specific at what you want.
Well, plowing and sanding is one clear swing in payroll hours and
Yeah.
for sure expense. So does is it 9 people plowing, or is it other departments are also plowing?
Other departments are also, so our plowing is the entirety of Public Works for the most part. So water department plows because they have their own things that they plow. We also utilize them on some of the smaller stuff. The 2 mechanics plow. We have not enough people in the highway department alone to cover what we have.
Is this the only contracted plowing though, is on North Wakefield?
Yeah, and that's only because that comes in from the Route 16 side. It's just too far away.
But we don't have any other contractors plowing?
But we do everything in-house. Except
One
for
final question.
Yeah.
If they accrue overtime, like it's a decent storm, they're plowing, do you offset the hours to account? They
They
just
can't
accrue?
do union.
Okay,
No.
so they're just working a really long week?
Yep.
If it's a big storm?
A lot of the times, if say it's a heavy storm Monday, Tuesday, or whatever it is, Wednesday, cleanup is done. A lot of guys might take Thursday off, type of thing, but they are, if they plow all night, they plow all night and they work all day. They
And
want
they're
to take the
exempt
day
from
off.
the duty time laws. They're
Huh?
exempt, by
Correct.
plowing, you're exempt from the, they don't need to take a rest.
Correct. And by their union contract, we can't flex their schedule to say, well, you plowed tonight, we're gonna pay you 8 hours of straight time so you can go home during the day. That doesn't work.
Okay, we're all set with 300 series. 400 series, which is the street lighting. Monthly fee for the street lights.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah.
So when I go through your budget and I look and I listen to the select board and I saw Jim come in that Monday and saw a big hit on your department with the taking away like 10,000 for streetlights and other things. Just as a citizen, I look at those things and I think, wow, that's our infrastructure. Taking away, when I go through the budget and I look at the select board took away 15,000 for, road stripping or something and all this other stuff. I just, and I'm not trying to up the budget here, so, so don't anyone think I'm doing that. But I'm a little confused as why I'm seeing so much that was taken away from infrastructure. Lighting, for example, what does losing that 10,000 that the select board took out of the budget, what does that actually, how does that affect the taxpayer? How does that affect our citizens?
So if you give us $100, we will do $100 worth of work.
Okay.
You give us $50, we do $50 worth of work. I don't know how else to say that. So whatever we have a hard cost with the 100, 200 series to even to exist. Anything above me, which is just south of $1 million. So whatever this bottom line is now, which is 1.6, somewhere in that 1.6 category. All right. Anything that gets taken away from that takes away from services. 1.644.
So what does street lighting mean? We lose $10,000 in street lighting. What, are we just having lights out all over town? Like, is this a safety thing? Is this a?
So more than likely, what that means is those street lights will continue just like they always have. And the $10,000 will come from somewhere else. It's not like I have a light switch that I shut the lights off with.
That's what I'm asking.
So
So this 10,000 that was just cut for lighting, you're just gonna make that up from somewhere else, from your bottom line?
So that's how the budget actually works anyway, Bobby.
Yeah,
We outline all this for everybody to see, to be as fully transparent as possible.
yeah.
If something happens, for example, we have a really bad winter, well, I only have X amount of money. We get down to, this is a really good one. Let's get down to 430, which is a vehicle maintenance line. It's 155,000 proposed for 2026. Right now, we have $65,000 worth of repairs sitting in 2 machines, sitting at the shop, waiting for January 1st. So, you know what I mean? So that's not factored in on this. So those things have to happen. So what will end up going throughout the course of the year, and we are going to adjust things, which means something has to give somewhere. So we won't be doing this, or we won't be doing that. I want to do $30,000 worth of catch base cleaning next year. We might only be able to do 15 because we have to put money into the grader.
Okay,
But we,
losing catch basin cleaning.
Yeah.
What does that do to our lakes?
Again.
These
So-
are the
No.
real conversations
Yes.
we have to have.
100%.
This isn't a conversation about, our tax collector office closing for an hour at lunch or anything. These are the real things that impact real people, impact our economy. Obviously, everyone sitting at this table is working hard to make sure this budget passes this year. And having honest conversations about what can be cut, what should be cut, and what shouldn't. So when you're telling me now catch basins aren't gonna be cleaned, and we're talking about polluting our lakes, I just wanna have those honest conversations, because we can sit here and talk about these funds, but we're not talking about the real impact of cutting $10,000 in lights. What is not being lit, and what is the ultimate harm or no harm to our town. If there's no harm to our town over certain lights going out, well, then do we even need those lights in the first place? I mean, I'm just asking, I just thought
I
those
think
were
it's,
pretty big numbers.
I think it's valid questions. You know, catch basins came to mind because I'm staring at the thing.
Yeah.
Would it be catch basins or will it be line striping? Now, we haven't line striped in 2 years, right? Because the 2023 budget that was approved was actually built in 2022 by my predecessor. So the numbers of what it really costs is so far skewed, we haven't been able to do it. It's gonna get to a point where we don't have a choice, so I'm gonna have to do that and something else has to give. So maybe we're not doing as much ditching, maybe we're not doing as much culvert repair, we're not, something gives, anytime that we cut anything, again, $100 gets you $100 worth of work. I can't stretch it. I can't. We have fixed costs and we can do what we can do.
Look, I get it, I cut things, like, I'm not someone who does not look at things and cut things, but when someone's telling me we're paying people for $150 an hour to tie boats up on the docks, but you're telling me that we're not gonna clean our catch basins, I'm just thinking our priorities are off here. And I think that this budget committee has to have an honest conversation about what our priorities are. Are our priorities an $11,000 calendar for the Chamber of Commerce, or are these catch basins more important? And that is what this group of people is tasked to do, is to do things that I feel that maybe our town government is missing, or maybe our select board missed. The buck's gotta stop here. I know that's like a cliche saying, but we need to determine our priorities. An $11,000 calendar, I wanna cut that right now and put that $11,000 back into catch basins.
Motion?
Okay, let's get off, let's correct a few things. Nobody's getting paid $150 an hour to tie boats up down the town docks. Anytime you see something here, Bobby, you're more than happy to put a motion to replace whatever you think has been taken out.
I tried to when we went over recreation, and it is $150, it's 3 people.
You said $150 per hour.
For three people.
I think, okay, but the way I took it is you meant it for one person, I
No,
apologize
that's
for that.
3 people, but it costs us, for those 3 employees, $150 an hour. And honestly, they're actually employees in Steve's department and they're getting overtime. And I want to make sure that we're taking care of our employees too. But our catch basins are important. I know it's in the rec budget, not yours.
I just wanted to clarify that, because
Yeah.
I know overtime was a question before. That dock budget is not, the overtime lines that you see in the public works, highway, garage budget, all that is not dock stuff. That's a different thing.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion that we take $11,000 from that calendar with the Chamber of Commerce, and I'd like to move it into, into the catch basin. Where was that line item?
Outside services.
What number?
380?
380.
Okay,
Outside services.
so I'd like to take that from, where are we?
How can you do that when you're not doing chamber? Yeah, I guess so.
Sam, do you remember where that number is, that 11,000 for
So the
that?
executive budget,
I'm looking at.
under EDC. Executive budget EDC.
Isn't it only 6,000, Paul?
I don't know the number, that's where it is.
I think it was 6,000.
It's in executive EDC.
Oh, what's she trying to do?
Take 11,000 out of the EDC for the Chamber of Commerce and move it to catch basins.
No, just line 380.
Well, that could just point of clarification that the $15,000 cut by the select board is all of 380. Am I wrong in that?
Yeah, that's why Bob was just saying it should go to 380.
Just line 380.
Just
in general.
380.
It's
We
not
don't
catch-
have to-
That's catch basins.
Yeah.
It's the whole list of outside services.
So you're talking about the calendar of events?
Yeah,
Okay, that's $6,000 in the economic development committee budget.
And then there's an employee though, that we pay the
Okay.
employee.
But that's a different
Okay.
budget. That's the executive budget.
Well, I'd like to move the 6th then. How about we just start easy with the calendar with the 6th?
Okay, so that's 0146520-380.
146.
01-46520-380. That's the town, that's the chamber's calendar of events. That's 6,000. And then you want to move that 6,000, you want to, so what she wants to do is decrease.
I want to increase in the 43,120, 380 line. I would like to put that 6 there. We have to figure out our priorities. Our priorities aren't, that's one motion. I'm taking it from one place and I'm putting it in another place.
You're transferring from,
So you're going to
Where
make one
to
motion
where?
and
I'm
decrease?
transferring from the EDC 6,000 calendar budget to put in 43,120 highway and streets into the, to apply it towards the reduced 15,000 that the select board took out.
you're putting it in where, with the highway what?
I'm putting it in highway so they can clean our catch basins and,
43,120, line 380.
but there's no second yet.
Is there a second to
I'll
vote
second it.
for discussion? Or, okay. Go ahead, Bobby.
Well, I mean, I think I made my point clear. I think we have priorities, and I think that the chamber creating a calendar that if any of us go online right now, half the stuff in town isn't on there anyway. They don't oversee the calendar on our town website. That calendar is a separate calendar. And, you know, I would love to say that I can just quickly go and look at the chamber and have a calendar of all of our events in this town, but that's not the way it works. That's not how it works. And I think our priorities cannot be calendars for the Chamber of Commerce and have to start being, let's take care of our lake. Let's have clean catch basins.
I
Let's-
agree
Yeah.
with taking it out of the chamber. But I don't know as though I agree with putting it in the highway.
Can I ask a question, Steve, clarification? You did say that no catch basins were not cleaned due to budget restrictions. You had to move money around.
That's not, no, I did
You
not.
said
say
that
that.
catch
No,
basins.
there's some that did not get cleaned.
Okay,
So-
due to budgetary
Yes,
restrictions.
yes.
Always the street.
My only comment to the motion is to table it until we hear the full budget. Like maybe put this on the revisit.
Yeah, that was my question too. Do we do these transfers, exchanges, cuts, additions, do we do them as we go through, or do we have one meeting where we decide to accept the budget and then?
You want to table this until that meeting, like on the 30th?
Do you do it at the end? I don't know how this board does it. I don't know how you've done it in the past.
That's my comment, or request, is if it's in the same budget, then we're looking at it and we have the people here, but we haven't heard that budget yet.
Okay.
And so I would say table it until we have,
Okay.
so that we can ask questions and,
Do you want to withdraw your motion, Bobby, or do you want to do a motion table?
Well, a table would supersede my motion,
Yep.
so why don't you make a motion to table it? And
either
that-
table or add it to the revisit. I don't know what's more
Well,
appropriate.
tabling it is actually,
Okay,
make a
so I would
motion
make
to
a motion to
table it,
table it until we've heard the entirety of the budget.
and I'll second it.
Okay.
Oh, there was a motion,
All those in favor?
and then
Hold
there
on
was
for
a
a
second by
So the-
Suzanne. So you
Any
have to do
discussion
something
on
with
the
that
tabling
first.
motion?
His motion to table.
No, the motion tabled.
Okay.
None?
What?
Everyone understand the tabling motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay. We're all set on the 400 series.
May I just ask more questions off of that? Just because this is the section that just really, when I went through and just saw and again, it was like Jim came in on a Monday, or was it a Monday, your select board meeting that Jim came in with all the cuts that you guys went through?
Yes.
And I just felt like this stuff in your budget, I want to understand it, because I feel like our infrastructure, again, is very important in this town. And I want to know within these numbers where you, as a director in all of this, where these 10,000, 7,000, 30,000, 3,000, it just seemed like arbitrary numbers that got thrown out there. Like under the 600 series, like the 30,000, there, when I look at that, I mean, that's gravel and road beds and dust control and drainage repairs and all those other things. How is that going to affect our town?
Less money means less work. I don't really know how else to answer that question. So that's $30,000 of gravel and stone that I can't buy.
And how does that relate to our town as far as our roads, as far as like Wambeck? I hear the people on Wambeck constantly saying, I got potholes over here. We got a road that's a mess.
I haven't heard anybody say anything about Wambeck Road at all.
Oh, really?
That was sarcasm.
Oh!
That was a joke.
I'm like, did I miss something?
Now you get a holy picture.
Are we making Wambeck a gravel road? Because
It's
I thought it was
scenic.
No. I mean, you see my point. Like, is this it? I
So-
want to pass this budget. I mean, we all want to pass this budget, but not passing this budget and getting rid of this, is that then still no different than a default budget where we don't get
So-
it? And that's what I need to
Okay.
understand.
This is better than default.
This is better.
This is better than
default.
default. That I can tell you, 100%.
Okay.
What Jim had, between Jim and I had submitted things to cut. He sent out a memo to us all the department heads, cut. You got to cut. So I offered up X.
Okay.
He did what he had to do, worked his magic. It is still better than if we go to default, if that answers your question. So I will take this budget right here as proposed over the default any day of the week.
Okay.
Also, though, there are increases in
Okay.
600, right? So it's not as much as he asked for, but the cuts, percentage-wise, there was a little bit chipped off of each one, but in this particular, the 600, there is still an increase. So it allows for improvements to be made, not,
an increase of 14.9%.
yeah. So I understand what you are
I'm just
saying.
asking. I
Um,
mean, it's just an important question to ask.
Okay,
Yeah.
600 series, keep moving on. Diesel fuel, holiday gas, maintenance supplies, safety equipment, uniforms. Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
So that's another number. Like I look and the safety equipment number, are you all stocked up on safety equipment, or was that reduction?
Mean 680, just for clarification?
Yeah, 680, sorry.
Yes. So we're in decent shape with that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. That was an in-house cut ahead of time.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question, John.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to ask Steve a question. All these one-line select board reductions were in town manager and selectmen. Were you involved in those?
So I was, Jim asked for a list of stuff we could cut. I proposed I sent in X amount of money, whatever it was. And then he took that, and then he had to do more. So, yeah, I wasn't surprised, he told me.
So you sort of didn't have,
Well, I had 85% input,
okay.
let's say, 85%.
He had discretion.
That's all,
Yeah.
that's all I'm asking, and I think that's all that Bobby's
Right,
asking. We want to be sure that if these reductions are
Well,
going to create a problem, a major league problem for you to run your department, as
Well-
opposed to a default budget, which you just said this is much better than the default budget, and I
Correct.
agree, because I compared it. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But are you, I know you're not happy.
no. I mean, if I was happy, I would get the budget I proposed,
Okay.
right? But I mean,
But you feel confident, do you feel confident enough that you can run what you've got to run without you're gonna have to do a little cutting and belt tightening and all this kind of stuff?
we've done it for 2
It's
years.
not, it's not gonna hurt services.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, okay,
But I can't put a dollar amount to that, Bob, because there's too many factors in there. Most of it being weather.
I understand, but that's my question and Bobby's question, both
So,
of us.
there will be less of an impact on services with this particular budget passed than if we go to default. If we go to default again, there'll be a much noticeable hit on services, from my perspective, from my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay.
Sam, what's the year-to-date for the highway department? Do you have that?
Overall,
Yeah.
they're at 91.87%.
One more time?
91.87%.
How much money is that?
They have spent 1,283,000 with another almost 31,000 encumbered.
How much do they have left?
116.
Out of the 1,501,798?
Correct.
Christmas season.
So our budget was basically frozen a month ago.
Can I ask 2 questions?
Yeah.
If I may. Do you have a punch list of what needs to be done generally in the town? A wish list, maybe towards the end of it, but generally, to her point, you know anecdotally what is not going to be done by making these cuts.
To some extent, so basically it's we have a work plan for 26 already built. We have our work plan, this is what the maintenance crew is gonna do down through here. Now, okay, this is gonna cost us this much money based, when we put it together in August, based off of our proposed budget, which I think started at 1.8, let's say. We're now at 1,644. I think it was originally 1.8 something is what it started at before the cuts. So we based our work plan, we put our work plan together, we put the pricing to it, we're 1.8, whatever. Okay, we go through the first round of cuts, we cut, okay, we adjust the work plan. We cut, we adjust the work plan. So the more cuts or revisions we go through, we just keep adjusting the work plans to fit whatever we have for a budget. So the more that gets cut, because again, like I said, we're really working with about $600,000 of actual maintenance. But then, $160,000 that for vehicle repairs, $270,000 for sand and salt. It doesn't leave a whole lot of money in there for actual stuff. So our labor is already included in that, so that's why we can do ditching and we do that stuff. We don't have to get into material costs.
Well, that just leads into my second question, if I may. So if there's unforeseen circumstances or emergency road repair, does that come out of this budget if a road washes away or something?
So we also have the road money, the road fund, which I tried not to use for things like that. We had to use that in 2023 because we didn't have a choice. So when we basically lost North Wolfeboro and it washed away, we spent $1 million over there. That had to come out of road money, and that put the stuff to us. Our normal, regular things, when we lost Beach Pond, the edge of Beach Pond 2 years ago, we fixed that out of the operating budget. Because that's, we have culverts, we have gravel, we have things for that reason. If Brackett Road washes out, which it's done, well, had done until we rebuilt it last year, that always came out of the operating budget to fix.
Paul?
Thank you. Steve, I think, I might be wrong, but I think what you're being I think what you're being asked is, you started with a work plan, and that presumably has my words, a bill of materials of the projects you'd work on, A through Z. Haircut time comes along, that work plan gets reduced by a percentage, whatever a dollar or a percentage. That bill of materials now goes from A through Z, A through N. I mean, I think that's what
Correct.
you're being asked. I don't, and so it's hard, I think, for someone out there in TV land to say, well, I mean, we're getting a speech that says I'll do the best I can with what I got, which is what you'll do. But I think what the ask is could you be more specific about, instead of going A through Z fully funded, I'm only gonna be able to do A through F. And people will then understand, comparatively speaking, what went by the wayside.
Mhm.
Then a judgment can be made whether that's a good idea or not a good idea. I think that's what you're getting at.
Yes.
Okay. Did I misspeak?
That's pretty close to how I was tracking.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
And sometimes we get lucky because we didn't have any major rainstorms this summer, so that the sewer, the catch basins, not the sewer, but the catch basins didn't get as much of the usual buildup in them, so that I think you cleaned all the catch basins once this year instead of twice.
So be careful when you say all, because we don't do all of them. We
Cycle.
there's 196 of them
Yeah.
on Pleasant Valley Road. Okay, of drop inlets with no sumps. Wamback Wamback doesn't exist anymore. I'll just deal with it. So we do them in a rotation based on usage and need, and I mean, I could keep a catch basin truck. It's $2,500 a day. I could keep one busy for 6 months.
Yep.
Just trying to clean everything that we have.
Once a week cleaning trash.
Huh?
I'm out on Pleasant Valley Road once a week cleaning the trash out of those basins.
How much is it?
Thank you for your service.
900.
Yeah.
So I have looked into trailers. They have back trailers that are about 100 and a quarter. But again, it's one of those things. We already have almost $4 million worth of equipment that needs to be upgraded and replaced without even adding anything else to it. And then if we have a full-time trailer, which I could use, I don't have the manpower to staff it full-time. So it's easier to just do this in a cycle of cleaning on the sub at this time, and eventually we can work towards a long-term plan of,
Suzanne?
All right, so I think of it a different way, and maybe it's wrong, but you get $1.5 million, just round it off. Paul's work plan, whether you do or you do not have a work plan, I don't know, but, so, in July, you were gonna cut a lot of roadside brush. Just, I'm making hypothetical.
understand.
But it rained all the month of July. So the brush, you just say, oh, well, we can't cut brush in the pouring rain, but we've got to take care of the drainage and the some washouts. Maybe not major washouts, but you have to be always switching your program and making sure you just don't go over the bottom line.
Correct.
I mean, I really don't care if you spend $10,000 on culverts and not $10,000 on brush cut. However you shift, it's like we shift money lines, you shift projects, and not go over the bottom line.
No,
That's all.
which it's difficult, when I say we have a work plan, because we sit down and we go, okay, this is what we want to accomplish next year, and as we're building the time and the budgets and everything, but it's tough, when I say it's difficult to report that out in advance because things change so much. And if for some reason we didn't, if we had said we're gonna do this brush cutting for this month, and we don't do that brush cutting, we get, it looks like we're not doing what we said
I
we're
know,
gonna
but
do.
I'm
So it's-
talking about if it
yeah.
rains, not that you just
No,
decided you weren't
and I
going to
get-
do that road.
But Suzanne, unfortunately,
You-
rain, snow, sleet,
You
or
have
hail.
to
is
have
our-
a flex, you have a work plan to come up with a dollar number.
Correct.
But that dollar number doesn't have to reflect every one of these projects because it's dependent on weather.
Correct. And depending on what we have for a winter, will dictate everything for the rest of the year. If we have a heavy winter, this winter. and
You
we-
maybe
we
blow
choose-
your budget in the winter, and then you can't do all the things you want to do in the summer. So
Correct.
really, it's not, I don't feel comfortable saying, well, let's change the line on the culverts to this and change that line on, I'm looking at the bottom line. I'm not looking at your previous bottom lines. I'm looking at the default budget line.
Mhm.
I'm comfortable with just not micromanaging your work program because you aren't gonna be able to stick to it if the weather changes or we have an earthquake or a tornado. So, the weather dictates what you do. Pretty much. And if those people that complain to you about not brush cutting, tell them to call me because I'll say it rained all week. They couldn't do it.
Brush cutting, butt rain.
I thought you were gonna go down with your tractor and take care of it.
I'll take the trash
Suzanne,
down.
they're either gonna say that we cut too much or we didn't cut enough. 50% are gonna say
Well,
one thing.
I couldn't
50%
have used
gonna-
a worse example.
No, it doesn't matter what you use for an example, that's the way it is. 50% think if we're sweeping downtown, we either swept too much or we didn't sweep enough. It does not matter what it is. It's
Okay,
just,
let's
it's
move on
our
to 700
life.
series.
All right,
Say that again,
where
John,
are we
please.
now?
700 series machinery and equipment. 820 professional development. That UNH Road Scholar Training. And that's it. No capital.
You want this salary, please. Okay. That's all right. You wanted to see it here, it's right here. You wanted to see it here.
Okay, let's move on to our garage.
Yeah, you wanted to see it here. The 25%.
How many employees? Two? Two employees?
I got it.
I'm sorry, John, what?
At the garage too?
Yeah,
Both positions are filled?
yep. Longtime employees.
Okay. Any questions in the 100 and 200 series? Maintenance of vehicle, lights, brakes, bearings, et cetera. Hydraulic fluids, parts and materials. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Line 332, I just want to make one question here. So you basically are buying the parts for the maintenance of other departments' vehicles at the garage, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So when the police bring a cruiser in and you do your magic and get it running again or whatever the problem is, how does that money how does the police department get, I guess, billed, if you will, from a
So-
cost? Again, I'm back with my cost center thing.
So each month we bill every month. We
Okay.
bill the departments every month. We bill the finance department. And then they do a line transfer.
Okay, is
From-
that handled as revenue, Sam? To the
I'm bringing it
garage?
up now, I actually don't,
It's not revenue. It's, all it is,
it's charging the department.
it just charges the department the
And it's
expenses.
offsetting this 332
Yeah.
under the garage.
So built into this, the reason why that carries a $28,000 line is there's built-in services that, as the town garage, we do for free. Routine oil change, for example, cruisers, highway department. So everything, I won't speak for police, I know how it works, but it's easy for me to talk. Highway department, $155,000. Everything that breaks in the highway department runs through the garage. Then Ben, at the end of the month, takes his bills, they go to Marie. Marie takes and sends them to the highway department. That highway department maintenance line pays that bill. And all departments go the same.
So from a finance point of view, it's just money transfers?
Yes,
Yes, it's done
Basically.
monthly.
There is no revenue line particularly?
because we don't make money off the
That answers
project.
my question. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on from the 300 series. to the 400 series, which includes electricity, water, ground maintenance, rentals, and leases. Inspection station, line 440. Isn't that come to an end?
We're still gonna do it.
Okay.
So, because we've been running around with that, from a safety standpoint, we're still gonna do inspections for ourselves.
Okay.
We also need to, if any vehicle goes out of state, it still has to be safe. The only way to do that and to make sure is to actually do an inspection.
Okay.
We're gonna do it the same way we've always done it.
The trucks need to also be done, right?
Yes.
So, according to, the commercial vehicles are going away too, according to,
Not the way I understand it, but.
it wasn't the way we understood either, but we just had this conversation with them today, this morning, actually. They said all of them.
Wow.
It was, my knowledge is, I understood it, anything over 10,000 GVW still needed it.
Yeah.
They're telling us no. So,
Shitting me.
Okay, that's
it also depends if we talked to Patty today and we talked to,
Susie tomorrow.
Susie tomorrow, who
Could be different.
could be different.
Yeah.
That's why it's there.
Okay,
That's
good.
why it's there.
I'll still get mine inspected. I don't trust it.
Okay, 600 series, which is the general operating supplies, office supplies, gasoline, diesel fuel, propane, and safety equipment. Any questions on the 600 series? And there's the uniforms again. The 700 series is building repairs and improvements, machinery and equipment. What do we need, a different machine to do the Freon for the newer vehicles?
Yeah. And our machine is old.
How
Anyway,
much is that?
just under 10 grand. Between the two of them, it's $20,000. So, one is a little over, one's a little under. I can't remember which one's which.
What would it cost to go to like a regular truck garage or service station, have the Freon replaced?
If we can get them in, so the other issue with that is the sheer amount of vehicles that we have.
Yeah.
I think, if you, all it takes is, it's gonna be $200-300 a pop just to get into a garage. Time, labor to take them there.
Okay, 800 series, which is the travel and meetings and professional development. Any more questions on the DPW garage?
I have just a general question. So that's all vehicles, the entire fleet, with the exception of like fire apparatus?
No, they take care of fire too.
They do.
They take care of everything. MED, fire, PD, Parks and Rec. It's over 100 vehicles that they maintain, machinery and equipment. I think it's 110 now. That may not include the new ambulance. Those two boys work a lot. The shit highway department thing's brilliant.
I guess I'd ask why on the overtime again, like
Yep.
reasons why.
So part of it is those two guys will plow, so that's gonna come into play with their overtime. They're also on call. If PD breaks down, MED breaks down the weekends, fire department breaks down the weekends, they're in.
Okay, any questions on the public works garage or anything to do with the highway department? Okay, seeing none, let's move on to buildings and grounds. Okay, 100 and 200 series is the salary and benefits. Any questions on that? 300 series is consultants. Engineering on the boat ramp, is that the one in town, or Libby, or where is that one?
That's the Back Bay one, across from the train station.
Okay. And also the Back Bay docks, what is that, to rebuild, replace?
So
or-
that is, all that was to get somebody in there to look at them, assess them, and give us a plan and permitting to do it. Like, so I did it a couple years ago at Mass Landing.
Yeah,
I got all that done, and then I got a grant for 100% of the rebuild costs. Hoping to do that again, but we'll see.
okay, so they took out
They took 5 out of it.
5,000. Okay. 380, the outside services, which is the janitorial services.
Can I ask a question on
Yeah.
that again? And I
Yeah.
know I ask it every year, and I look at the cost and everything else, and I know you guys have discussed it. Are we going to be getting our own employee to save some money in this
So-
area?
so-
Because, I mean, just between the fire department now and,
So in-house, so we've talked about that in-house,
Yeah.
to kind of explore that route. It's, I can tell you, it's, one person is not gonna clean all of this place. So there's crews that do this building, crews that do that building, crews that do, so, that would be, which is, I think, is part of the reason why that maybe that'll be a 27 conversation. I think we're gonna track it a little bit more this year.
okay.
Because my stuff doesn't even cover this building next door, or even the Brewster
Yeah,
building. This is
yeah.
just for the docks and,
Well, when I look at the railroad station and the fact that and yes, I'm gonna bring up the lease again. The fact that the lease there is $322 a month that we're getting in funding, and they give nothing towards this, yet they sublet that building. So something needs to be done about that, and that's coming up for the select board. Are you guys reviewing that lease now for that building?
Let's stay focused on
Not on
the
the
budget
agenda.
right now.
Not on the agenda, but I know that their lease is going to be running out in the next year or two.
No,
So
it
the lease
runs out this year.
This year.
Okay, so we're all set on 300 series?
Johnny?
Yeah.
On that janitorial service thing, we've got a couple of different departments who use janitorial services. The library does, public safety building does. Are they all different companies that we're talking about?
so the
or we-
library,
we-
library and public safety have the same company. We have a different company that does Brewster Building, although that contract is up the end of this month. And, the people that do this, the bathrooms, have that award for the Brewster Building for next year. So there'll be basically 2 different cleaning companies doing town stuff.
I guess that's my question. I mean, can we get a better arrangement across all these departments with?
It's too
going to
much,
one-
it's too big. The people that do this building and that one didn't even bid on that, they can't do it. It's too much work. They don't have the manpower.
The question is, can we find a company that does have the manpower to maybe get to a better rate across all of these buildings that we're doing the janitorial services for?
So I'll go back to, so we put it out to public bid and they don't bid on it. Everybody tells us it's too big, it's too much. So there's a separate one that does MED.
I'll
So
tell you what
MED
I'm
has
gonna do. I'm
one.
gonna start a janitorial company
You
for
and
this
me,
town.
Bob.
There you go.
So-
You wanna be my sales
I'll
manager?
be your salesman.
Thank you.
So we got pricings for the Brewster building that went anywhere from 25,000 to 125,000 to clean that. You know, so cleaning it well, it is a whole different animal.
Okay.
Okay, 400 series. Water, sewer, ground maintenance, building maintenance. Uh, 500 series, dam registration, Crescent Lake Dam and Townsend Brook Dam.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yeah,
What have we worked out as far as the dam and Smith River, and you're working with Rich Massey and others to keep the water flow in there? Okay, thanks.
operating supplies, safety equipment, there's the uniforms and shirts and sweatshirts and boots and pants and everything. Okay, the 700 series is the dock maintenance. CRF funding, that was by the selectmen. What is that? Where are they gonna find that money?
So there is a capital reserve fund for the docks down.
We're gonna use the money to do it?
Yeah.
You're gonna work then?
That was my understanding when they removed it, was that we could supplement it with that.
Okay. Is that something you think we're gonna see every year?
Yeah, they need constant maintenance. That's
Okay.
not a, whether it be bumpers, boards, I mean, they get heavy use, so.
Okay.
Is this Libby as well, Steve?
This is just
Just down down.
just dockside.
Okay. All the positions are filled at this time?
Yep.
Okay, let's move on. The next one is going to be the Brewster Building. Okay, so we've got no salary and benefits. Oh, wait a minute. No. Outside service is 380. That must be the contract that we have.
Yeah.
on Cleaning. $400, electricity, heat and oil, water, sewer, copier paper, building maintenance. What's the cone service agreement?
I'm sorry?
The cone, K-O-N-E service agreement? What is that?
I believe that's for the, elevator.
Where are we?
435. Brewster Building.
That would be the name of the elevator company.
Yeah, that's the elevator.
Yeah, it's
Elevator. Sorry. Yeah, same here. We skipped that one, or we haven't got that far yet?
Okay, anything else in the 400 series? Got the rental for the copier and the scanner. Pretty much all the maintenance.
Is that a specific type of scanner that we need to digitize stuff? or-
Yeah. So that's for the big one that's in the planning department for the plans, about half the size of this table,
Print. And
and print and scan, yeah.
Okay, next one is the 700 series, which is the cost for maintenance repair to the Brewster Tower clock.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Are we not gonna repair that anymore?
Hopefully it doesn't break.
That's what we're on? Okay.
sure there must be some money in here that they can use. They've got 25,000 for miscellaneous repairs and it's in the cost. Maybe they can find it in there or something.
How often does it break?
I think that's part of the reason why the 250 was
They've
taken.
taken out, okay, thanks.
Okay, we all set on the Brewster building? Okay, let's move on to the solid waste disposal. You have no capital outlays at all in any of your budgets, right? No
I'm sorry?
No capital outlays at all
No.
in any of your budgets?
They were all
Okay.
taken out.
Solid waste facility. Any openings up there? Any openings?
Nope,
Solid waste?
nope, fully staffed.
100, 200 series, that's the salary and benefits. $300 series, consultants, medical services, outside services. What's your projection on all these tipping fees we're gonna have to pay? Is it gonna keep going up, or?
Yep. So our contract is gonna be up in 2026, so we're gonna have to go out to bid. And I expect it to keep screaming up.
Question?
Our tipping fees, our trucking fees are extremely high as it is. I expect those to will keep going. And then-
I'm just wondering, how are we doing on recycling? How, the fees, the
Yep.
payback on the up, down?
No, we're good. We're holding steady with that. We will reassess that towards the beginning of '26. We'll do another study, in-house study again like we did 2 years ago. And then if we need to adjust again the rates, we will do that. But right now, everything is holding good.
You're
You're
good with metal, not with plastic. Is that kind of a trend? You're good with metal, but nobody wants to say plastic.
Metal, paper, cardboard.
Well,
Plastic is, the only benefit to recycling plastic is we don't pay to get rid of it in the mass waste. There is no money in it. It's a loss, or it's not a loss, it's just not a gain. It's more of a thing. When we redo the contract for dumping is when we will need to reassess everything else. Dump stickers across the board, because we'll have to make up the difference somewhere.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
question on line 380. Steve, which of these tipping fees and so forth, and the outside services, which one of those is related to you're getting the truck in to move the dumpsters around?
So that would be for a combination. We're paying in the haul fees, so you see where it says, for instance, the MSW hauling fees, 205 at 488.25.
Yeah.
So we're paying that premium on that, the 488.25, to get them there to do that around. What the goal is with that truck, and when we renegotiate this contract, that I'll get that number down drastically, because we don't need them there to do that.
Now-
There's still gonna be some costs, but it won't be as much.
Okay, my question, I guess, is, I remember in CIP, you brought forth a proposal,
Correct.
a project for
Yep.
a truck, basically, to move dumpsters around. up
It'll
there.
come out of a percentage will come off of this 488.25 to
If I
pay for that.
recall correctly, we had a 2-year payback on that.
Yep.
That deal, right?
Correct.
Is that warrant
That's-
article still gonna go through?
You know, that's a good question.
Because we approved it.
Yep.
In CIP, and
I don't-
I don't know what's happened to it.
I'm trying to, that's a good question, Bob, and I'm not entirely sure on that in the
Could
list.
you follow up on it, because that,
100%.
you know, you get a 2-year payback on a warrant article,
I don't have them with me.
that's easy money.
This is the one you got a grant coming in?
No,
No.
this is different.
I don't remember seeing it.
I don't either. Now that, I don't remember seeing it either, Bob. So that may have gotten axed before it got there.
Oh, okay.
Can we check that out,
Yeah,
please?
Sure.
Because that was a winner. I mean, a major league reduction in these tipping fees for a truck to go up there just to move dumpsters around.
Is that to
That's
get
what
our
we're
own
talking
truck?
about. It was gonna
Yeah.
pay itself back in 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And can we haul it to Rochester?
So the truck to haul the dumpsters was removed.
The roll-off truck, right?
So, big picture wise, the goal was to buy a used truck to, right now, we pay a premium to get them here to swap out dumpsters for us, take them, because we can't do it, we run out of room too fast. The goal was to have our own truck to at least move on site as step one. And reduce our expenditures out as basically like a pilot program, we see how that works, then we can start to invest in a newer truck and another manpower to start running our own stuff over the next few years. That's the big picture goal.
Capital or capital outlay, Bob?
Okay.
What did happen to it? The warrant article?
I believe it was removed because we had to cut warrant articles. There was $3.5 million in warrant articles, appropriations.
That's fine and good, but when you've got a warrant article that pays for itself in 2 years, that's dumb.
Do you have the math on it? I mean, it seems, just looking at it, it seems
It
like
was in
that's
the,
a good
it was in
idea.
the CIP project
Yeah.
thing, and it's got, the math on it is a 2-to-1 payback. It's craziness not to be doing that.
Okay.
My memory serves me, it was only 122,000, I think,
150. I wouldn't do 122.
something like that, yeah.
It's-
It wasn't a huge one. Pays itself off in 2 years with the reduction in fees. Plus gets us going on the program you're talking about. Makes no sense.
Okay, let's move on to the 400 series.
Since we're asking about things, can I ask a weird question?
Yeah.
About the scale? Whatever happened to scale?
We've never had a scale.
I know,
I would
you
like
had
to-
been talking about one.
Correct. No, I would like to have a scale.
Because that'll save us a lot of money, right?
It will save us, so we've adjusted our fees based on what our, to cover itself. Again, long-term goal for the transfer station is to have the scale to be more self-sufficient, 100%.
Okay.
In-house, we are working towards trying to get grants and things to cover that, because we have to find another way to pay for it. Because it's not, we're not gonna, I can't put another $100,000 into the operating budget to buy a scale.
Yeah, we're taking every town around us, we're taking.
That's actually slowed down.
That's slowed down now?
So the reason that has slowed
Okay.
down is because we adjusted the fees. Once
Okay.
we adjusted the fees to where they should be, we stopped getting as much crap coming in.
Okay,
People used to bring their stuff all the way here because it was basically free to get
Yeah.
rid of. We cut that out by adjusting the rates,
Okay.
the way that we did.
Okay.
Now we are balancing out. Now, whatever we send out, we are covered with what we bring in.
okay.
So, can I go back? So Bob, I asked you a question, I think Brian and I just kibitzed on this. It came out of CIP, but it didn't come out as a warrant. Was it capital outlay on your side that you could pull? This
No,
truck?
that was never
Then it's
capital.
in the, it's in the missing space. We gotta go figure out where it is.
Okay, no, it was a project that came through CIP as a upcoming warrant article for this coming year.
What, we're talking $100,000?
150.
It's 150.
So
Something like that.
it went over the threshold. Okay, it's in the missing space. We need to go figure out where it is.
But it's got a 2-year payback. It just makes a lot of sense to me to be doing something that we're getting a payback on.
Got it.
Okay, 500 series, printing dues, 600, office supplies, operating supplies, maintenance supplies, gasoline, diesel fuel, safety equipment, and uniforms. Any questions there? Okay,
I just had a question on the diesel fuel, the report of the actual for this year. It doesn't seem like we're using diesel fuel, unless I completely read it wrong. So that's not a budget question, but I was curious.
We do, because we have 3 machines up there that run on diesel.
That's, yeah, I thought
So
it was odd to use 0.
Yeah, it also depends on when yours was printed. Could be a difference of a delivery, because we do have a 500-gallon tank up there, but even still, he fills that 3 or 4 times a year. So I'll look into that to
Yeah,
see.
year to date, there's been 4,500 spent.
Okay, maybe it's,
I think there was another department where it was,
Okay, 700 dumpster open top container. 800 is training and meetings, professional development, New Hampshire DES recertification, computer skills class, DES required staff recertification. Bless you. Okay, anything else on solid waste disposal?
I'm just curious about the Supervisor Academy and Computer Skill Online course. What do we use the computer online course for at the dump?
So for their solid waste certifications. They have to be certified to work there.
Then I have another curious question. That probably doesn't affect the budget, but that Wakefield
Disposal?
rubbish removal service.
Yep.
How do you know that's Wolfeboro's stuff?
A bit of the honor system. So we know him. He's been hauling in here for a long time. He's a He's a pretty reputable guy. We hire him to do stuff. He does the trash barrel pickups in town for us already. So, I mean, some of it is a trust factor.
Is it considered commercial dumping?
No, because he does residential trash pickup. He pays more for a dump sticker than you do.
How much more?
5 times as much per truck.
And I will say, I don't know who that fellow is that seems relatively new, tall, thin fellow. He stands right there, I do appreciate, and he makes sure that he hasn't got recyclables in the household.
They are very,
As
very
best
good.
he can, because it comes
Right.
flying out
Yeah,
of
but they are
there.
very good. Wakefield Disposal goes in, they sort
He's a
all
good
their
guy.
stuff in there. And you're talking about Thomas. Thomas has been a great hire for us. Nice
He's been
guy.
helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess that's it for you for tonight.
Bridges? Do you have that on your list?
No?
Probably there's no budget impact for that, actually, so maybe that's why. It is a department technically.
No, I don't have it anywhere in here.
Okay. It's a $4,500 non-thing, but I technically have
Sam,
it.
can you look into that to see where where we can find the bridges?
Sure.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't see it in here. Didn't that used to be like 10,000? Was that 10,000?
No, it's only ever been 4,500 because it's actually funded from a grant that we have. So it really has no budget impact per se, but
Okay.
it's there. And actually, I think it was created in '24, which is probably why it doesn't, we keep trying to, keeps going away from the default, so.
Okay, let me go to it. Bridges.
This certainly wasn't a lightning round, was it?
I was hoping. You know, it's not bad considering the amount of paper and lines that we just had to go through. 3 hours, not quite, that's not too bad. I am very happy that we got this all in one night, because it was on 2 nights before, and that's,
Yep.
and we're the only ones here, which is great. We don't have to wait for anybody else.
I think you were there for like 5 hours.
Should we pick some, couple
Yes.
of follow-up things that Sam's gonna find for us? Steve, if anything comes up that you need any changes or decreases in the budget, please let us know. Anyone have any other questions?
At the moment.
Okay, we're not gonna do the minutes tonight, we're gonna set that aside. How about public input?
Public
Any
input.
public input?
Hey, you got something to say?
Well, I'm one of the cranky voters.
Name,
Wasn't that the word,
Name.
cranky?
name.
Oh, Karen Burnett Curie from Wolfeboro.
Thank you, Karen.
I will say that I wrote down 3 things. One of them is the whole issue of transparency and how things are presented in the budget. And I have to say that as people have these conversations around separating out the enterprise zones as separate warrant articles or whatever might happen to them, if you don't clarify in the budget those distributions of people's time, as the example that tonight happened, was the administrator who was 50%, and don't quote me, but DPW, 25% water, 25% sewer.
Spot on.
I'm not paying for the 25% of the water guy. Except it looks like I am paying for the 25% of the water guy if it shows up as one position. So don't tell me that the enterprise zones are all these separate funds that are self-funded if you then present me with a budget. It becomes a shell game. And you guys are just making it look like something or telling me something that's different than what it looks like. So I think that's a really important distinction to make. The other example of that is on the garage. If the reimbursement for everything, we'll do oil changes for free, but everything else is billed out for cost, what cost is that? Is it just for the oil? Well, the oil's free. but is the cost just for the parts? And I'm just reimbursing the garage department for their inventory of parts, or does it include time? That statement isn't clear to me. So I, as a voter, am looking at it going, okay, so the police department is reimbursing the garage for parts and time, which means there's a slush fund there, because there's 2 pots of money. Now, I assume there isn't, but again, it comes across as being a shell game, and that's how the impact, and again, I'm the cranky voter, the impact makes it seem like it hasn't been such a drastic impact having 2 default budgets, because there was all of this money floating around in the budget that really was double talk. So it was spent and then could be respent and then could be respent. So I think that that's going to be a critical issue to address with voters. I think the other part of the issue, for transparency's purpose, is that A to Z list. So they have a work plan. The work plan has a punch list. The punch list goes from A to Z. There was one round of cuts before the budget ever made it even to the select board. There was another round of cuts, there was another round of cuts. At this point, I don't even have a concept of how many rounds of cuts there's been made. But let's say there's been 4 rounds of cuts. That punch list that went from A to Z then became A to R. Then it became A to N. Then it became what? Now, the statement can be made. I don't know where we are now. I mean, I think that was one of the points that was asked that wasn't answered, and it may not be able to be answered because there's variables, but I would still, if I have a punch list and I have a work plan and I'm going into the year and it's the beginning of the year, I would still be expecting I'm going to go through at least X percentage of that punch list based on what my budget is. Not accounting for weather and catastrophe and earthquakes and pestilence. Okay, so if I'm now at A to N, and my default budget would suggest that I would get A to C, that's a really clear message. If that could be somehow conveyed to voters so that they understand. So you say, this budget is better than a default budget. For me, I want to know, okay, it's better because I'm going to get A to O instead of A to C. I mean, I'm being a little obtuse, but I'm trying to say I think there's ways of making some of this information not seem like a shell game and become more obvious what I am or am not going to get based upon whether or not I have a default budget or not. And the third thing is, we've heard a lot of issues related to people feeling like we keep accumulating maintenance issues because that's the budget item that ends up getting cut. Because you can't cut the person, you can't cut the benefits, you can't cut the actual structure, and it has to get cleaned by the janitor and the toilets have to be washed, whatever. So you come down to what are those ongoing maintenance issues and how many can we get through. They're on that punch list. Well, if we have $3 million in equipment that needs to be, its maintenance has fallen behind, what does that mean to me? So to me it means that the police department has 13-year-old cruisers and they're putting into their budget, and it's a line item, 2 of them, which means that if somebody else needed something, they probably aren't going to get it because the budget can only increase by so much, and a significant portion, or some portion of that, went to these 2 cruisers. All right? So what does that mean for me as a voter about that truck or whatever? And that reflects back on the comment that was made originally, or early on, in the water department, they can just go out and buy a truck. Their cost is paid for. If they need a truck, they can buy a truck. that's the way it was said anyways. You said if I need a truck, I just build it into the rate structure. To me, that's saying, okay, water gets whatever they want, sewer gets whatever we approve, and everybody else gets whatever makes its way through the cuts made by the town manager, the select board, the budget committee, everybody else. So if you're not in the electric department or the water department, and to some extent the sewer department, man, you're in the.
Yes, yes. So to that point, we did, our warrant article for vehicles got voted down last year.
Right.
So
Right.
I built, when I got here, I built a 20-year build-out on how to replace all of our stuff.
Right.
And that's all fine and well as long as it gets voted in. If it doesn't,
Right.
you rip that up, and I had to rebuild it all again.
Right.
You know,
No,
so
and
it's-
I understand that, but I mean, I think that one of the things that gets lost is that I don't know that you have that 20-year build-out plan. You know, I haven't seen it. I don't know it. If I did, no, I would necessarily remember it from now to whenever. But I think that Suzanne has made a couple of comments about, well, I don't know if you have this plan, or I don't know if there is that plan. And I think one thing is that people need to be confident that, you know, there are yearly plans and 5-year plans and 20-year plans, et cetera, and that those plans are based upon, you know, the fact that we can't buy 5 vehicles in 1 year, so we're gonna spread them out. But I don't know how that works between departments. So what I see happening is that some departments then win and others lose, which means, does that mean somebody's keeping track so that next year the one that lost, you know, wins, so that the one that won, you know, I mean, because some people would say, oh, the police department's the most important, or the fire department's the most important, or whatever, which would mean that some departments would always end up at the bottom of the heap. And I just think that's people want to know that's being managed appropriately, and that it's not being left to just.
So I can't speak for the whole select board.
Yeah.
I can't speak for the whole select board, but I look at every department as equally important as every other. They all provide services to the town. And then we look at each different department and we try and say, what do they really, really need? Because they all have wants that they could get, but we have to figure out what can they really, really need. And no department will do anything to hurt the community. They will provide the services for the community that they can, and they look at what they can provide and what they can't provide, and they balance as much service as they can for the citizens. And it looks like, okay, they're all operating, but they're operating on a shoestring and they're going without. Like
But that's okay. I mean, I think the public's going to say they have to go without. I'm going without, you have to go out. I mean, everybody has to go with it, not everybody, but most people have to.
If I may, John, if I may.
We've gone past the discussion period.
Oh, so now we're just shooting the breeze?
Well, I'm hoping Kevin's gonna wrap it up here for
No,
us.
I'm done.
All right, well, I gotta tell Bob one thing. The 2000, our CIP that we just went through, that truck, the solid waste roll-off truck, is listed as $225,000 and it was moved to 2027.
I was just sending an email to you guys.
So that's why there's no warrant article for it. It is double and a quartered in price and pushed out a year. So the break-even point is probably.
No, it was 225 when we just did that 2 months ago. 3 months ago?
Yeah.
It was 225 is what the number was.
Yeah.
Now I remember that. When it got pushed, I don't know.
Yeah, to 2027.
They have a priority,
There.
they rank it,
Yep.
and according, so you
And it got
requested
ranked.
2026,
They pushed
and
it
then
27.
the committee ranks the projects,
Yeah.
and the ranking placed it in 2027.
You had your choice, you made your choices.
Yep, which is fine. If we're out
Okay,
of session,
can
but
I
I
get
can
a
answer a
motion
couple
to
of
adjourn the
questions for
meeting,
you.
please?
Motion.
Oh, whoa, no, wait, I wanted to ask a question
Yeah.
before we adjourn.
Go ahead.
Karen had sent us all an email about process.
Yeah.
It's too late to try and change the process this year, but there are a lot of good things in it. And one of the things it made me think about, and at the selectmen's meeting, there was a generous offer from a person to help make charts. And so I went back in my old town reports, and guess what? The budget committee did a hell of a job writing a budget report for the town report. And they also did charts. And I would like to work with Leanne to come up with something that would go in the town report that would show something like charts. Simplify it for the public. It shows what comes in, what goes out, and it's itemized. It's pretty nifty. So can I do that?
Yeah, I think we're allowed 2 pages, so,
No, this is real charts.
well, I'm telling you that the only thing we're gonna get from the
And
report.
we haven't
We did
been,
an allocation
and
of
we
2
have not been putting in the town report, we have not been putting in the town report a budget committee report. We've been using the MS 727 or
Right.
whatever it is. That's not telling anybody anything. It's like a trapezoid trying to figure out which way to go in a MS 727. It's like, the general public can't figure it out. There's no way, because I know all of us struggle with it.
I struggle with hydrants.
Struggles with hydrants.
We all
Okay,
struggle with
there's a motion to
hydrants.
adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.